Meantime, Bryce Harper, the young guys, it's their game. He'll be there as well. We look forward to seeing Bryce Harper. The game should be outstanding tonight. You got two of the best teams in baseball. As you take a look at Bryce on the shirt, you'll see him on the field in a moment. But for now, we send it up to Dan Shulman. Dan?
All right, Carl, guys, thank you. As you say, it is a young man's game. And 22-year-old Bryce Harper, the National League's leading vote getter, will make his second start, his third appearance in the Midsummer Classic. Welcome to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell. At this moment, Bryce Harper playing about as well as anybody in baseball. We look forward to watching him again tonight and also in the All-Star game in Cincinnati. Dan Shulman, John Kruk, Curt Schilling. Hard to believe, Krucky, that this guy is only 22 years of age. Right now, nobody's playing any better than Bryce Harper.
22-year-old in his fourth year in the big leagues, which is unheard of. But the thing you love about Bryce Harper, Friday's game, Jake Peavy, a right-hander pitching, 0 for 1. He took his 3 walks. He let the guys behind him do it. Of course, Clint Robinson hits the game-winning home run. And then on Saturday, he finally gets a lefty. He's free swinging, first at bat, home run off Madison Bumgarner. What he has done in such a short time with figuring out when they are not pitching to him, this kid's made remarkable strides, and it's just going to get better from here on out.
And show whether you're Ryan Vogelsong or whether you're Curt Schilling, this guy presents some challenges right now.
He is presenting more challenges as he gets more mature, as he gets more strike zone awareness, and I think as he understands his role in their offense. When you're facing a good pitcher, he is not going to let Bryce Harper beat them. And Bryce, I think, is starting to recognize it. That walk Friday for me in 7 or 8 pitches kind of showed you how far he's come in such a short amount of time. Understanding that, yeah, I'd like to hit a home run to tie this game, but I don't have to do it all myself. And that's, for me, when you look at the Nats moving forward, how are they going to win games without his bat? Because more and more teams are not going to allow him to beat them.
Vogelsong, who's the starter tonight for the Giants, he's won most of the battles, had good success against Harper, but that was not the 2015 edition of Bryce Harper. We'll see how that works out tonight. On the mound for the Nationals, Jordan Zimmermann, back-to-back starts without allowing an earned run. And with Steven Strasburg going back on the DL today, of course, everybody else in the rotation becomes that much more important. For more, down to Buster Olney.
This is the 82nd game of the season for Washington. So tonight, the second half starts for the Nationals. And for Jordan Zimmermann, who's gotten better and better and better as the season's gone along, his average fastball velocity about 92.5 miles per hour in April. That's up to 94 miles per hour in June. Now, when we talk to Matt Williams, the Nationals manager, it really feels like this is more about location than velocity. Either way, the timing couldn't be better for Zimmermann, who's expected to become one of the premier free agents in the fall. Dan, back to you.
Buster, thank you. He is trying to pitch the Nationals to a sweep over Buster Posey and the San Francisco Giants, who have lost 5 in a row right now, just 2 games over the 500 mark. We wrap up the holiday weekend, the 4th of July weekend, with Sunday Night Baseball from the nation's capital. The Giants and the Nationals. And one more time, our friend Mr. Kruk brings in the holiday weekend in style.
Celebration, it's the birth of our nation. Waiting for the hump to say play ball. The Nats have Bryce Harper. We love those fish swing. But Posey and the Giants have those 3 big rings. Firing up the grill, the pitcher takes it. Kings of all ages settling in. It's fireworks on the board, baseball all weekend, right here on ESPN.
Bacon Club Chalupa, because bacon you can't eat is bacon you don't need. And in part by the new apartments.com. Change your apartment, change the world. And Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement. Back in Washington, D.C., the final game of this series, and the Giants have lost the first two. In fact, they've lost 5 in a row. Bruce Bochy not really happy with the way that his team has performed here in Washington. They've made a number of mistakes in the last couple of games. They're flying home tomorrow morning to begin a series at home tomorrow night with the Mets. Let's check out the starting lineup for the Giants. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Still without Nori Aoki and Hunter Pence. But boy, Buster Posey is not only in there, Truckee, he is hot right now.
They're very hot right now, and this is the guy, if you're Jordan Zimmerman, you got to see if Belt or Crawford one can beat you. If they think he can, then Posey might get something to hit.
On the mound tonight for the Nationals, right-hander Jordan Zimmerman, 6-5 with a 3.16 ERA. A familiar refrain, Shield. The velocity is a little bit down for the last couple of years. How does he adjust?
Well, he is adjusting. If you look at his last couple outings, the curveball is finally becoming the curveball of old. He's starting to wander into the territory of the Jordan Zimmerman we talked about last offseason as the big free agent catch. And if he keeps that up rolled, the Nats are in a good spot.
Phil Cuzzy is the home plate umpire. Jerry Davis, the crew chief, is at first. Pat Hoberg at second. Will Little at third. And we are underway in Washington with the first pitch fastball inside at the belt for ball 1. .83 muggy degrees here in Washington as Pagan takes a strike. Pagan hitting .269 on the season. And you can see the third baseman, Yunel Escobar, way in on the grass in case Pagan tries to bunt his way aboard or hits a chopper in that direction. It has not been vintage Pagan this year. Has not hit a home run this season. Has had some knee soreness from time to time. He didn't play yesterday as a result. And with injuries, this drought, this home run drought, goes back to May of last year. Popped up. And it's trouble. It drops in for a base hit between Desmond and Taylor.
Good pitch by Jordan Zimmerman with 1-2 count, but give Pagan credit. All you're trying to do in that situation is put in play and hope you get something, get lucky, and he got lucky burying in between Desmond and Taylor. That's the way he started the game Friday too. A little blooper into left field.
Well, you can draw a little 10-foot circle sometimes in the outfield where ball has to be in that spot. And what do they say? Better to be lucky than good.
Pagan has some speed. He's at first. The batter is Joe Panik, having a terrific year. The second-year player out of St. John's University, hitting .308. That is 8th best in the National League. Zimmerman, the pitcher for the Nationals, has 5 pickoffs this year. That's the most of any right-hander in baseball. As Panik takes a strike.
And that pitch right there is the reason his effectiveness to lefties has increased. These curveballs coming back, getting sharper.
On deck in the 3 spot, Brandon Belt, Buster Posey behind him. The Giants hoping for a quick start tonight as Pagan dives back in safely.
So the Giants, the first 2 games of the series, made base running mistakes with Buster Posey coming up in the lineup with runners in scoring position, takes him out of innings. Would be surprised here if Pagan runs.
Not going on the 1-1, and Panik pops it foul and out of play off to the left. A 2-1 win for the Nationals on Friday night. Yesterday in an 11 a.m. game here locally because of all the festivities and fireworks and so forth. They started early. And the Nationals won it 9-3. They jumped all over Madison Bumgarner. 5 pitches into Bumgarner's outing. The Nationals had a 3-0 lead, including a couple of home runs off him. Up and away, 2-2.
I just don't see him as an 11 a.m. guy. That's a tough starting time.
You said when you started that game, the marathon game in Boston, you were into the ballpark at 5:30 in the morning.
I arrived at the ballpark 5.5 hours before the first pitch for every start. So back the clock up from 11 a.m.
Line foul down the right side. And Pagan heads back to first. It's one thing to lose games, but what has bothered Bruce Bochy has been the sloppy play, physical mistakes and mental mistakes that the Giants have made in the last couple of days, especially yesterday. And if they lose this game, they have a winless road trip. They fly back home 0-6 on the trip.
That's a long flight, no matter where you're going.
To left field, Taylor drifting back, racing back, reaching up and making the catch to deny panic. Pagan back to first. Nice running catch by Taylor. Let's show you some of those mistakes we were talking about made by the Giants in this series. Watch Pagan. He goes to second and he assumes this ball is caught by Desmond, so he leaves the bag. And then he is tagged out. And then yesterday, keep an eye on Blanco running to third. Desmond fakes a throw to first. Blanco rounds the bag, and Desmond tags him out. Crocky, what do you think?
Well, the thing is, if you're being overly aggressive, you can live with mistakes, but those aren't being overly aggressive. Plus, Buster Posey was coming to bat.
Neither one of those is a physical error. Those are both mental errors.
Yes.
You don't assume anything. As soon as you start assuming things, you're going to make mistakes, and that's what both of them did. They assumed Desmond caught it on Friday, and they assumed Desmond threw it on Saturday.
Brandon Belt, the batter right now, had a couple of issues yesterday. He did have a couple of doubles, but he also got picked off once. And then on a weird play, when the Giants were in the field, a ground ball ricocheted off the glove of the third baseman Duffy and bounced to the shortstop Crawford. And Crawford threw to Belt, but Belt wasn't standing on first base. He didn't go over to the bag. So a number of mistakes being made by Bruce Bochy's team.
Phil Cuzzy, veteran umpire, he's got a short fuse.
I think what Bruce Bochy is they turned to the third base umpire, and he looked like he gave the he didn't swing thing.
Oh.
See that? I mean, he gave the no swing, but then Phil Cuzzy said, no, I got it. He swung.
So just because the catcher points down for an appeal, if the home plate umpire says, I know what happened, I've got my opinion on what happened, I'm not going down there, then the appeal is irrelevant. But Bruce Bochy thought, well, he saw what everybody saw, that the third base ump said no swing, but Phil Cuzzy obviously on his own thought it was a swing. So 2-1 now, the count on Belt. And outside, ball 3, Zimmerman.
He can't. Zimmerman can't get the ball down in the strike zone, Kurt. He's not. His breaking ball's up, his fastball's up.
Well, in watching recently, his stuff's coming back. He's starting. So the first inning for him is kind of getting his stuff together. That finish doesn't look as comfortable or normal and natural as he usually is either.
Do you guys start the runner here?
Yes. But you have to, well, that's knowing your hitter. Will Belt take a ball, or will he chase just because the runner's run? Some guys think this is hit and run still.
He is going. And a swing and a miss. Throw down. Not in time. Pagan with a stolen base.
Well, I think this is the way the Giants have to go about it. That was a really good jump by Angel Pagan, but yeah, Wilson Ramos, that good pitch to throw on. He just threw a sailor into.
Yeah, he almost ran like that was a hit and run because he's 1-2-5 to 1-3-5 out of the stretch.
Yeah, he looked back. I guess he was just waiting to see if Belt swung or if he hit it in the air.
Buster Posey, first pitch swinging base into the left field, and Pagan will be held at third. Taylor's throw comes back into the infield, and the Giants have runners on the corners now with 2 down. And Posey remains hot.
Well, that's why you don't run into outs or make unnecessary outs when Buster Posey has a chance to come up in the lineup. You know, again, this is what I love about Posey. He's starting to be aggressive early in the count. early in his career, that was a take for him, and that's a breaking ball by Zimmerman. You see he's still out in front of it, but he keeps his bat through the zone so long, even it actually releases his top hand to get to that pitch and hits it in the hole. Well, hit it too hard, though, for Pagan to score.
That's Jordan Zimmerman recognizing that Buster's getting aggressive and trying to throw a first pitch to get him to roll over and not making the pitch, leaving it up like that.
Here's Brandon Crawford. The Giants shortstop got off to a great start this year. He has cooled off, hitting just .210 since the 1st of June, but still very productive. Already a career high in home runs and 48 RBIs for Crawford, with the Giants just a game past the midway point of their season. And a fly ball to center field. Span is back, still going back, has room, and he makes the catch to end the inning. The Giants threaten but do not score. They leave a couple of men on. To the bottom of the first, Bryce Harper batting third for the Nationals. Second-year manager of the first place Washington Nationals. A look at the Nationals lineup presented by Taco Bell. Still without Anthony Rendon, Ryan Zimmerman, Jason Worth, but they've got Denard Span, who's had a good year. He's reached base in 23 games in a row. And they've got a guy who is on an absolute tear. Bryce Harper, easily the major league leader in both slugging percentage and OPS. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt's having some kind of a season, and Harper is way out in front in both categories. So this will be a challenge show for Ryan Vogelsong tonight.
Well, yeah, and I'm not sure that Ryan has a swing and miss pitch for Bryce, so it's all going to be about location and command. And if he's not comfortable, you got to go after the guy behind him. But it will put a premium, for me, it puts a premium on the guy hitting ahead of him, in the sense that you want the freedom to be able to put him on base if you're not feeling comfortable with your approach or your stuff.
Span will look at a first pitch strike from Vogelsong. This guy kind of an under the radar guy for the Nationals, but awfully important with the other injuries they've had.
And he missed time early in the season too, but it seems like when he came back is when the Nationals started winning games.
I think I've always believed the axiom strength up the middle, being strong up the middle, and if you're not going to be an offensive force, you got to catch. I think a lot like him, like Brandon Crawford, the fact that they're both bringing bats to the game now with that defense that they play is I mean, you heard Brandon being talked about in the MVP discussion earlier in the year, and I still think his defense is a game changer in that sense.
0-2 fouled off. Vogelsong with a .270 ERA in his last 11 starts. There's been a lot of turnover in the Giants rotation lately, with Lincecum and Hudson going on the DL and Kane and Peavy coming off the DL.
This is, for younger pitchers, this is a guy to watch. This guy pitches. He's 89 to 91, 92, not overpowering, but with good off-speed stuff, he can throw that fastball by you. It's all about command and being on both sides, east and west, and being able to change eye level north and south. And
I think you're going to see a lot of what you just saw right there. I think in Miami, you got caught up with throwing what Susac wanted to call, and instead of calling his own game. I think you're going to see Vogelsong shaking off a lot in this one.
Susac catching again tonight. Posey at first again. 0-2 is very high.
And for a guy like Ryan, the only reason that's a bad thing, that shake, step off, is tempo is part of the weapon. For a guy that doesn't overpower you, tempo is something you use to your advantage. And you'd like to think that when you say no and you're thinking about something odd, the catcher goes right to it. With a guy that's not familiar as Buster is, it doesn't always happen.
Span will be followed by Yunel Escobar and then Bryce Harper here in the bottom of the first. 1-2, a swing and a ground ball to short. Gobbled up by Crawford, 1 down. We'll find out about the All-Star reserves tomorrow night. A pretty good chance we might hear the name of Brandon Crawford when that team is announced.
He's got that Crucky hair going.
Wow.
That's, yeah, that right. Look at that.
You mean this Crucky hair?
Yep.
From back here?
Yes, that.
Show this guy.
Yep, that right there.
That Crucky hair.
Yep. Big, oily blob of stuff.
Yeah, but he puts stuff in his hair to make it like that.
Yeah.
Mine was natural oil.
You just neglected it to get it like that?
I just didn't
I
like
think
the
yours was lather,
I didn't like the
sweat.
I didn't like to bathe.
Well, you went
Puddles.
against it. Puddles. That nickname will stick forever now.
Here's Yunel Escobar. This guy could be an all-star. He's having a terrific year. 5th in the National League, hitting .318 and playing out of position at third base. They had a need.
I couldn't help but think when we were talking to Matt about his players, and you know, Yunel's had stuff follow him, baggage or whatever you want to call it. And like, I don't know about you, Craigie, but when I played, I heard a lot of stuff about guys. Then you end up playing with them, and you find out that none of it's true. Now, I'm not saying none of it's true, but Matt said he's been nothing but a pro since he's been here, and been one of his better guys, that's good to hear. And it's good to see too, because this kid's talented.
Well, you see the first pitch Vogelsong threw the slow breaking ball for ball 1. Yunel Escobar is a first ball, fastball, swing it, let it go kind of guy. Vogelsong knows that, and he threw a breaking ball. But I really think that his offense is a direct product of playing third base. He has to worry more about third base. The hitting is just an extra sideline, and all of a sudden now it's taken off.
Didn't you say that when you moved from outfield to first base, that changed things for you offensively?
Yeah, because I've never really played first base, so it was like every day that's all I thought about, like situations. What do I? And my hitting just, because it's just okay. It's free and easy now. You're not worried about your hitting.
1 out, nobody on. Escobar batting. Harper on deck. And the breaking ball fouled off. 2-2. Bryce Harper in this series, guys, is 3 for 5, including a double and a home run and 4 walks.
So he's been on base 7 of his 9 at bats, and that's the thing. That's where the big drastic change for me is the walk increase. But from a pitcher's perspective, when you prepare for this lineup, he's the outlier. You know, you're pitching right now to this guy, Ryan Vogelsong. You need this out right here because you want that flexibility.
Right through the wickets of Panic. And Escobar is aboard. So now not only is there a man on, but it'll probably force them to pitch to Harper a little bit more. Matt Williams with some interesting perspective on Harper, because he was in the on-deck circle for a few years when Barry Bonds was at his peak, so he's got a good frame of reference to talk to Harper.
Yeah. I just love the way Matt, I mean, this is, if I'm Bryce Harper's father, I couldn't think of a better manager for him to be playing for than Matt Williams, just in how he played the game, how he approached the game. And hopefully Bryce goes in there, and I assume he does, with ears open, because this is I think we're seeing something pretty special as it evolves.
He has scored an error on Panic. Runner at first, 1 out. Here's Harper. 344, 25 home runs, 60 runs driven in.
Pay attention to the location, pitch to pitch here.
And a base hit into right center. Escobar the turn on his way to third. Nationals on the corners with a 1 out.
Well, part of pitching in the big leagues is one of those, you have to be perfect to some guys, and he's in a role right now. You have to make the perfect pitch. I think he's lucky right there, Crucky, that he doesn't do more with that pitch. Credit to Bryce Harper for not trying to do too much right there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that you know, I mean, you see the swing, it's just about as good as you get. Look at the balance. Look at how quickly that ball gets past Paddock, and that's, you know, that's the thing with Bryce is he's taking what the pitcher's giving him, whether it be a walk or something away that he can't really pull. You know, he hits it hard up the middle just like that. I mean, he's about as locked in as you can get right now with the whole aspect of offense.
Well, and I'll tell you after, Dan, what that also does right there.
We had Robinson, the batter.
That first pitch, him jumping on that first pitch changes every at bat for the rest of the night now from a pitching perspective, because now you don't go up there looking to throw that first pitch fastball away to get ahead, because he's showing you I'll do damage or I'll go after a ball if it's in the strike zone. So it really kind of puts the pitcher at a disadvantage if he can't throw multiple pitches for strikes.
The guy behind him, in this case Robinson, pretty important. Hit a home run, a 2-run homer after a Harper walk in the 7th inning on Friday night in a 2-1 Nationals win. Robinson, 30 years of age, just a couple of cups of coffee in the majors before this year. But he can really hit, and we walked into the clubhouse before. He's 6'5", 245 with big time power. And right now, Crucky, his job is to try to make them pitch to Bryce Harper.
Or keep doing that when they don't pitch to him, and that's hit go-ahead homers. But yeah, you know, it was funny because I was talking to a few players on the Nationals, and he walked by, and I'm like, holy gosh, is he huge? And they said, man, this guy's got a beautiful swing. They love having him on the team. They said he's going to be a difference maker for him.
On the flip side, if you're a Giants fan, that was probably the one mistake Jake Peavy made in his first cut. He looked good, but he made one mistake. And I keep going back to the fact the Harper walk set everything up there. That was such a great at-bat and ended up being, to me, the game winner after that home run.
So Vogelsong got the first batter. Panic then committed just his 2nd error of the year. Harper with a base hit. The Giants threatened in the top half, couldn't score. The Nationals threatening in the bottom half. And a strike on the outside edge, 2-1.
And the thing about Clint Robinson is this: he's a 30-year-old rookie. So, you know, it's not like a young rookie coming up trying to find his way. He knows he has to be good now, because if he's not, his opportunity to play in the big leagues might be over, and he's taking advantage of it.
Got other options. Tyler Moore, who's been productive off the bench, going to play first base. At some point, they expect to get Ryan Zimmerman back, although he has not produced well this year when he's been healthy. He's on the DL right now with plantar fasciitis. But the Nationals could get Anthony Rendon, Ryan Zimmerman, and Jason Worth, all of them back in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, and you know, it's like with any other team that has guys out with injuries now. You know, you wait for those guys to start producing, but your bench is so much better. Espinosa's going to be better. Clint Robinson's going to be better because they're getting at bats now. And you ask a manager, hardest thing to do is to get your bench players enough at bats. Easier to do in the National League than the American League, but it's still one of those things where you have to figure out ways to get them ABs. They're getting them now because of injury.
Backward slider.
2-2. Ground ball to second. Panic flips to Crawford. Crawford on to Posey. And it's a 4-6-3 inning ending double play. Both teams threaten. Neither team scores in the first. All-Star Selection Sunday. Reply using hashtag #RepMyAllStar with a picture of how you're supporting your favorite All-Star starter, and your tweet could be on TV. We've got a couple of them in this game here tonight. Buster Posey will be the All-Star starter for the National League behind the plate. Bryce Harper will be in the outfield as an All-Star starter for the National League. Harper getting more votes than any other player in the National League.
Who led the most by anyone?
Josh Donaldson.
Wow.
A record number of votes. I think it was over 11 million, I believe, for Josh Donaldson. In the end, for those of you tracking the Royals All-Star starters, they wind up with 4 at the moment. Salvador Perez at catcher, Alcides Escobar at short, Lorenzo Cain and Alex Gordon in the outfield, and Miguel Cabrera will not play. Obviously, he is hurt, so I guess theoretically Hosmer could wind up in there. My understanding is if you're voted in as a starter but you're hurt, then it's the second place finisher on the players ballot who moves into the starting role, assuming Cabrera was first on the players ballot, which I think is a fairly safe assumption. The fans do the starters, then the players do a number of players. They do a player at each position, and I think it is 8 pitchers for each league. The managers, we were talking to Bruce Bochy about this a couple of times in the last few days, they actually don't do that much. What Bruce Bochy does is he picks the last 5 pitchers, 4 position players, and then he picks the 5 players who go on the online vote for the last spot on the All-Star team. And he's got to make sure he's got a Philly, he's got a Brewer, things like that. So he doesn't have as much say. Managers don't have as much say as people think.
I have never been around a manager who enjoys this process. No. It is because, and you heard Boch, like, I wouldn't want to upset my players. And the guys that are deserving on my team, I see them every day. You don't want to ever shortchange them, and then you have to have somebody from every team. I think the issue for me, the way to solve, I think, a lot of it is the roster size.
There's 34 already.
There's always make it 40-man roster. But there's always going to be snubs.
Yeah. Tell the owners with all these guys having bonuses.
Yeah, but you know what? When you look at it, the bonuses, and I'm not trivializing, but you got a guy making $22 million a year with a $50,000 All-Star bonus. Make the bonuses to charity or something. I don't care. But there's always going to be, my guy deserved to be there, or this guy should have been there. And until unless you make unlimited rosters, that'll always be the case. But isn't that part of the fun?
Andrew Susac with a ground ball to short, 2 down. Speaking of the All-Star game, the Esurance MLB All-Star Selection Show comes your way tomorrow night. Join our panel of experts and Aaron Boone, not pictured, as they reveal the American and National League All-Star reserves and pitchers tomorrow night at 7 Eastern. Baseball Rules on ESPN.
I thought that was well done.
Thank
experts
you. and Aaron.
Aren't we supposed to be on that?
I was going to go with experts in Carl Ravitch. But Booney's picture wasn't up there, so we're there.
So
we're supposed to.
Are you there too?
Yeah.
So there. Somebody in Bristol made a conscious decision to put Tim and Carl in and to exclude you two guys and Aaron.
Yeah, I get it.
No offense. With all due respect.
Yeah, and I do say with all due respect.
They probably couldn't find pictures of it.
Yeah, because that's a problem.
Yeah.
Or pictures they like.
Ere Adrianza with a fly ball to center. And the Giants are gone in order in the top of the 7th. Local Little League program as part of our Sunday night coverage. Tonight, we welcome the Mamie Johnson Little League in its inaugural year. 11 teams, 125 kids. There was no organized Little League in their district, so they got help forming a league from the Nationals Academy. This new program is a significant part of the Nationals' overall efforts to promote youth participation in baseball and softball in the D.C. community. Got a chance to meet some Nationals players before the game, and here they are. And what looks like some pretty good seats watching the ball game tonight. Welcome.
That would have been
as young as players are, they might have thought they were on the roster.
Yeah, two of them are older than Bryce, maybe.
To the bottom of the second, here's Wilson Ramos, the Nationals catcher, hitting .261, 7 home runs. And Ryan Vogelsong's breaking ball is right over the corner for a called strike. After Ramos, it'll be Danny Espinosa and then Ian Desmond, 5, 6, and 7 in Matt Williams' Nationals lineup. And outside with a breaking ball, a ball and a strike. The Nationals with a record of 45 and 36. They are the leaders in the National League East. The Mets won today. And not only did they win, they scored 8 runs today.
What?
They did in one game.
Wow.
That's their June output.
And they beat the Dodgers 8-0. So they are 4 games back of the Nationals right now. And the Mets with that win did the Giants a favor by beating the Dodgers. The Dodgers are now 3.5 up on the Giants for top spot of the National League West.
It's amazing. The Mets go out to L.A. They take 2 out of 3. Kershaw, Greinke, of course, was great yesterday, and then they win today. They can get some offense. They're going to stick around.
Boy, their fans screaming for a trade right now.
You know what I find amazing? One of the differences from being down there and up here is how soon, how quickly during the season fans and the media start to discuss games back in the standings. As players, I don't know that you ever really pay attention to it unless you're in last place or whatever till like August, when you realize, okay, 5 games or 8, whatever. But like, it's amazing to me how little that's discussed.
Well, we're right about at the midway point of the season. Some teams have played exactly 81 games right now.
Yeah, this is 82 for the Nats, right?
This is 82 for the Nationals. This is 83 for the Giants.
Oh, well, on the base.
He's a little flustered. Look at him. Oh. Yeah. Poach. He's awesome.
A teammate of Rockies back in the day in San Diego, and Matt Williams, a teammate of Schill's back in the day, not as far back in the day, in Arizona.
Now, yeah, you were saying Crocky played with 2 managers.
Yes, 2 current managers were teammates of yours.
Okay. Yep.
You guys failed this quiz in the car.
Yeah, we did.
By the way.
Badly.
Yeah. So you played with Boch and Robin Ventura when you were with the White Sox. And Show, you played with who? Bob Melvin, Craig Counsell,
Kevin Cash,
and
Matt
Williams.
Matt
Williams was easy.
Yeah, that's what he didn't get.
No, I got that one. Which one? I missed one. It was.
I forgot.
Melvin. Bob Melvin was one.
Ball 4. Well, the Nationals have had such high expectations for the last few years. Twice they have been champions of the National League East, but they haven't been able to get anywhere in the playoffs. Remember, Game 5 of the division series against the Cardinals in 2012, led 6-0 in that game, led 7-5 going to the 9th, but lost 9-7. Missed the playoffs in 2013. Last year won the National League East going away. Best record in the NL, but then were beaten by the Giants in 4 in the division series, including a game, an 18-inning game right in this ballpark that you called, Crucky, for ESPN Radio, when Jordan Zimmerman, coincidentally, went 8 2/3 great innings, but then was taken out after a 2-out walk in the 9th inning. Buster Posey was coming up. Posey had seen Zimmerman 3 times already, had a base hit, had also lined out hard. So Matt Williams decided to make the change, brought in Drew Storen, and 3 hours later you were still doing a baseball game, and eventually the Giants won it.
Yeah, we had Brandon Belt quickly became one of your favorite players after hitting a home run in the 18th.
I still think, and we were talking about at the time, the Strasburg decision a couple years ago is going to haunt them.
Is going to still, or?
I think it's going to haunt them. I mean, shutting him down, you don't know how that would have turned out But him in the postseason that year, I think it would have been.
So is going to haunt them because they didn't win that year, and they may never get a better chance.
Yeah, you may never get that better chance. And they've been painfully close a couple times.
How good do you think, if they get healthy, how good do you, more people that I talked to, more online polls that you saw, pick this team to win the World Series than anybody else before the season?
I mean, because of that reason, that you get Scherzer, Strasburg, Zimmerman, Pfister. I mean, the swing and miss, the swing and miss pitching is scary, and that's why people talk. I got if I'm a Met fan, I got to be bothered right now because the Mets, they throw the same thing at you. You've got swing and miss arms. Offensively, you're going to have to find a way to get some runs, but just getting there with those pitching staffs gives you a chance.
By the way, Max Scherzer is going to join us live from the dugout during the 4th inning tonight. Try to get him turned around, straightened out this year. See if he can figure it out.
Just trying to get some consistency out of him.
Leadoff man aboard Ramos. 2-1 the count on Espinosa. Espinosa did not expect to be a starter, but he's become pretty much an everyday guy because of the injuries. Can play all over the infield, but has seen a lot of time at second base, and his 8 home runs are actually the second most of anybody on the team behind Harper's 25. They play Espinosa to pull, and he takes outside a full count. So we talked about, do you put the runner in motion in the first inning? Different kind of combination here. Ramos doesn't run very well. Do you risk it here?
No.
I got to tell you, it feels to me like Vogelsong's tempo is something he doesn't have it right now, and I'm not sure if that's game calling familiarity, a lot of shake-offs, step-offs, but tempo is one of his weapons, and it doesn't feel like he's even come close to using it yet.
Jill, if you had a problem with a catcher like this getting on the same page, how would you deal with it in game?
I would tell him to watch me, and I would call my pitches.
Just so you can keep your tempo the way you
Just so
like.
I could get up there and throw without shaking. I don't think hitters are like that sometimes, but I don't want to. And I would shake on my own, sign or not, just to mix it up. But I don't want to have to step off. I don't want to have to keep shaking 3, 4, 5 times.
29 pitches already for Vogelsong, and he's gotten 3 outs. It's fouled off again. Posey took a foul ball off the mask a few days ago, so he has played more first than catcher since. They're trying to get Susac more experience, get the pitchers more comfortable with him, and you may see Posey play more first base going forward than he has in the recent past. Not necessarily most of the time, but it's conceivable, Crucky. You could see Posey there maybe 2 days out of every 5, and Susac catching a couple of days out of 5.
I'd rather see him there 7 out of 7 days a week, to be honest with you.
At first?
Yes.
Ball 4.
Well, I was watching, as I've been watching every at bat, but the Robinson at bat last inning really kind of jumped out at me. He went to 2-0 on him, and if you look at the fastball, real good miss right there. Sets up the next pitch, kind of cut the ball a little bit. Then he went changeup, and the reason there was a big deal is because those were the first signs Susac put down. The next couple pitches, it took him 4 or 5 shakeoffs and a step off to get to, and it felt like the momentum, any momentum he was building, any tempo he was building was gone. And for a guy that has the stuff that Ryan has, the leadoff walk is a no-no, which obviously he knows. But that last at bat felt to me like he had no control over how things were going, and he's missing by a lot wider margin than he has been because he's been throwing the ball really well.
Here's Ian Desmond having a tough year, both offensively and defensively. You can see the offensive numbers. He's also committed 18 errors, the most of anybody in the National League. And with the runners in scoring position this year, he is 9 for 72. That is just a 125 average. That's a guy who was one of the better shortstops in the game the last couple of years. The last 3 years, averaged 23 home runs. and over 80 RBIs. But not close to putting up those kinds of numbers in the first half of this year. He's also a free agent at the end of the season as he fouls it back 0-2.
Hey, and there's a lot of talk in spring training that he could be in a deal. Try to get some whatever they thought they needed at the time, but because he was a free agent, there was also talk Jordan Zimmerman was going to be traded also in the spring after they signed Scherzer.
I got to ask Crucky. I've always so people say, how can you have a bad year? It's a long. How do you have a bad year? And I always assume for position players, you get into such a rut that you try and dig yourself out of the rut in one at bat, and it ends up being June or July, and you look up and you're like, wow.
And just that right there.
Well, that's an 0-2 swing.
Got an 0-2 swing, and he's swinging to try to hit a 3-run homer. Yeah, you try. I know the one year I really struggled badly, and that's I thought, okay, if I can hit a ball 750 feet, I'll get out of this thing, and instead of hitting 241, I'll hit 243 and have an outstanding year. It doesn't happen that way.
Well, and I think a lot of times the analogy pitchers always use is guys trying to hit a grand slam with nobody on. You got to deal with the situation you're in right now.
0-2 again. And a swing and a miss. The ball is off the glove of the catcher to the backstop. The runners will advance. Desmond cannot go down to first base because first base was occupied with less than 2 outs at the outset of the play. So it is a strikeout, but the runners will advance.
See, now, from a pitcher's perspective, to me, that's not a physical error. That's a mental mistake. Having that kind of an at-bat with runners on first and second, nobody out. He got out of the way. He got lucky because of the wild pitch, but he's swinging, trying to crush the ball.
I mean, that pitch was never a strike. And I mean, when the catcher can't catch it because it's too high, there's a pretty good chance you can't hit it because it's too high.
Wild pitch, charge to Vogelsong. Second and third, 1 out. Number 8 hitter Michael Taylor up, another member of the Nationals bench brigade, getting a lot of playing time because of the injuries. Infield is not all the way in. They creep in a little bit more, and Taylor lines one into left field, a base hit. Ramos will come in to score. Espinosa to third on the RBI single that gives the Nationals the lead.
Well, Michael Taylor, another one of those first ball guys. He homered yesterday on the first pitch of the game. First pitch Madison Bumgarner threw. And Vogelsong right here. You got a base open. You got the pitcher coming up next. Yes, there's only 1 out. But give Michael Taylor credit. It was a breaking ball that wasn't a great when it stayed up a little too high. But, I mean, you see it right there. The difference between he and Ian Desmond. He's trying to put the ball in play to get a run in. Ian Desmond's trying to hit a 3-run homer. One strikes out, the other gets an RBI single.
Well, again, it goes back to trying to get out of a slump, trying to make a bad year a good one with 1 at bat, which you can't do.
Impossible.
So here's Jordan Zimmerman, the pitcher. First and third, 1 out. Zimmerman is 4 for 30 this year. He does have a double. Runner goes from first, swinging away. He fouls it back.
And not to belabor the point, Crucky, but Desmond, the guy can play.
Yes.
He's proved he can play, and people ask, well, how can you be so good? And confidence, it doesn't matter what you do for a living. When you lose that confidence, that edge, you start to do things on the field. Because defensively, he hasn't looked like the player he was in the past as well. And it looks to me like it's just kind of permeating everything he does right now from a confidence perspective.
That's interesting right there to put the hit and run on.
Runner not going this time. Check swing by Zimmerman. On the appeal, he did not go, and it's a ball and a strike.
And guys, his second half may mean tens of millions of dollars to Ian Desmond, because there was talk about him getting a deal in the $100 million range. He decided he was going to test the market. And based on his statistics now and based on how he's played erratic defensively, it's hard to imagine him getting a deal close to that. So his second half performance will really dictate a lot in the fall.
A lot of decisions will need to be made by the Nationals. They've got a number of players heading into free agency. Runner goes, pulled down to third, and now they've got the runner hung up between third and home. Espinosa, they'll apply the tag, and the end result will be first and second, 2 down. Now the runner from third, he's trying to talk them out of going for a double play, but they didn't have a play at second base.
Not even that, but I think if you run into the third baseman right there, that's interference, defensive interference. I mean, the third baseman was standing in the baseline. If you watch this play, when he heads back to third base, if you watch Adrianza, watch this. Now, if he runs into him right there, that's interference.
Yeah, that's where if you're Espinosa, you just keep running, run into him and hope you get the interference called in. But yeah,
but why did he break it all? I mean, if he knows the runner's going from first.
There was no chance of a double play with Taylor running. I mean, he was flying, and he got a great jump. Why he went, that's beyond me.
It might have been on contact, too, though.
Now Denard Span drives the ball to left center field, but Pagan is there, and the inning is over. Taylor drives in a run. We're at the end of 2, and the Nationals have a 1-0 lead. Schilling, Buster Olney with you at Nationals Park. Congratulations to the United States women's national soccer team, which has won the Women's World Cup by defeating Japan 5-2. They just won final a few minutes ago.
Carly Lloyd, a hat trick, all in the first half, getting USA out to a 4-0 lead. It's great for her. I've been texting back and forth with her throughout the World Cup, and she was excited to get a win, not only for USA but for Abby Wambach also, which is great.
USA. That's awesome.
Here's Ryan Vogelsong leading off the third for the Giants. Vogelsong 3 for 24, a 125 average on the season. He'll be followed by Angel Pagan and then Joe Panic. Jordan Zimmerman on the mound for the Nationals. Zimmerman in his last 2 starts, both of them against the Braves, did not give up a run, did not issue a walk, covering 15 2/3 innings. And he strikes out Vogelsong. The Gillette Home Run Derby, presented by Head & Shoulders, is coming, featuring the best home run hitters in the world, competing in a new head-to-head bracket-style format with timed rounds. Catch all the action July the 13th, 8 Eastern Time, right here on ESPN. And then the All-Star Game, one night later on Tuesday the 14th. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 Pacific on Fox.
Think he'll be there?
I think he'll be there.
Yeah, he'll be watching the Home Run Derby, thinking,
why do pitchers watch it?
I don't. I did it. I mistakenly did it. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, wow, this is all. Wait a minute, I got a pitch tomorrow.
Think Todd Frazier's going to have any fun in the Home Run Derby in his home ballpark?
He should have fun.
He will have fun.
That's, yeah. And I mean, I felt to the last day of my career that was one of the most enjoyable things to be able to be a part of.
The All-Star game?
Just being in the clubhouse. I mean, for me, it was like I got a chance to play catch with Maddox or Glavine or try and sitting. I remember sitting at a table with John Schmaltz, Greg Maddox, Tony Gwynn, Tom Glavine, and Barry Bonds, and they were talking about pitching and hitting. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, Cooperstown, 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 and they're all talking about approach. And it was like, wow,
pretty cool.
It was pretty.
Was that your first All-Star game?
It was one of my first ones. Yeah, absolutely. One of my, and mesmerizing.
Because there must be guys, you know, you're a 14-year-old kid and you've got a baseball hero.
Right.
And now you're a 22-year-old major leaguer, and now maybe you're a 25-year-old all-star, and you're in a room with that guy who was your hero when you were a kid.
As teammates. Like, wow, I'm literally playing with him.
Who was your guy when you were?
Well, I grew up live in the Pirates. Yeah. So Matting and players, Mattingly, George Brett, and those guys were around the All-Star game as captains. But it was like one of my favorite moments was being able to introduce my son Gehrig to Cal Ripken and having a picture taken with Gehrig and Ripken, which was one of my all-time favorites. And then I remember Crucky in Philly. I remember Crucky going and facing RJ.
We all remember that.
Didn't turn out well.
You were just toying with him.
Well, just another one of his 3 billion strikeouts. Must be getaway day for.
And Pagan not happy.
Pagan's
really not.
He has every right to be upset.
Pagan better watch though.
But that's. Can't do that as an umpire. You can't, and I get it. But see, the issue, like we talk about consistency, Crucky. That's not strike one.
No.
If it's not strike one, it can't be strike three. Because as a hitter, you make the hitter. Now the hitter has to swing at pitches. A, they can't hit, and B, they shouldn't have to swing at.
So second time tonight that Bruce Bochy's had a beef with the home plate umpire Phil Cuzzi. And here's Joe Panik.
But Phil was always, as an umpire, he was always one of the rare guys who expanded his strike zone a little bit up.
Panik with a swing and a bouncer to the right side for the first baseman Robinson. The Zimmerman covering, and the inning is over. To the bottom of the third, we'll see Bryce Harper, and we will compare him, at least in terms of his swing, to one of the greatest hitters the game has ever known. Watch. This will be interesting. Style format with timed rounds. Catch all the action July 13th, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Rick Shue, the hitting coach of the Nationals a couple of years ago, was looking at the swings of some of the game's greatest hitters, and when he started looking at Babe Ruth's swing, he said, you know what? That reminds me of somebody I know. He thinks Bryce Harper and Babe Ruth have similar swings.
Yeah, very, very similar. I mean, Bryce Harper, both guys hit off their front foot, which means that they hit off a stiff front leg and their back foot comes off the ground. And when you watch a side-by-side of Bryce and Babe Ruth, check out these swings. Look at that. Stiff front leg for both of them, bent right elbow, but look at the back foot, both off the ground. That's getting some unbelievable torque And that's why both those guys, well, Babe Ruth, of course, one of the greatest home runs hitters of all time. I wouldn't be surprised if Bryce Harper, if he stays healthy, becomes one of the greatest home run hitters of all time.
Think the Babe would have liked home run derby?
You think you could swing a 40-ounce bat that
Well, I
that
think
many
he would have
times?
liked to sit at the table with Berman during home run derby.
Harper on deck as we go to the bottom of the third. The Nationals up 1-0, trying to sweep the Giants.
And that's a difference. You know, he's 22 years old, but the big difference in Bryce Harper is how selective he is now. Taking what the pitcher gives him, understanding that you can't hit a home run on every pitch.
So, for me, it's strike zone awareness. He's got. What does that mean to it when you get better strike zone awareness? How does that manifest itself to you as a hitter?
There's a fly ball down the right field line, slicing into foul territory.
It's just, to me, it takes a while.
Right.
You know,
but what
he's only 22
how do
years
you
old.
get better strike zone awareness?
Well, you understand how pitchers are working. You understand what pitches you can and can't hit. Because when you're young, like he was, you know, playing in high school and then in the junior college, you know, you think you can hit everything. And when you get here, you understand, well, I can't hit that pitch. I can't do anything with that pitch. So it's not only being selective on pitches that are out of the strike zone, it's making him get the pitch in the strike. It's knowing what pitches in the strike zone that you can do things with. You know, I'll play a pitch down the way. I can't hook that ball for a home run. Let me try to hit it the other way.
Sharply hit, but right at Crawford for out number one.
And I ask that because of this. Kevin Youkilis was as good as anybody I ever played with at strike zone awareness. And honestly, when guys like that took a pitch, it was usually a ball. They knew the strike zone as well as an umpire did, but it developed, and I don't know how that skill develops. It's just the more pitches you see, the more comfortable you get, because when you watch this kid hit right here, his takes now are as impressive to me as his swings.
What do you think this is all about? Odd to see a conversation, I mean, clearly initiated by the umpire, Phil Cuzzy. Harper pointed back over toward the on-deck circle, or in that direction for some reason.
He doesn't look happy about something.
No. Phil could be that kind of guy.
Harper with a base hit, his first time up, takes the breaking ball down and in for ball one.
And I said the first at bat, that first pitch fastball he got, that set up that breaking ball right there.
And that's what else puts you ahead of the count.
Yep.
And that's the thing about recognition. He chases that pitch. Now it's 0-1. Vogelsong can go anywhere.
He was taking that pitch out of his hand.
But you don't swing at that pitch. Now he has to
get
something closer.
He's not happy.
25 home runs on the season, one of a small number, a very small number of players in baseball history age 22 or younger who have ever hit 25 homers in the first 81 games of a season. Alex Rodriguez, Johnny Bench, Harmon Killebrew, Eddie Matthews, Joe DiMaggio, Mel Ott, and Bryce Harper. It's only been done 7 times as he takes low ball 2.
You love when a guy's locked in, a hitter, because this is like Tony Gwynn for 650 at bats a year. Every pitch that's leaving Vogelsong's hand, he knows whether before it's leaving the dirt of the pitcher's mouth, whether it's a ball or a strike. That's how quick he's recognizing pitches right now.
And I can't tell you how frustrating that is as a pitcher. Because you can see it. You can see a hitter literally take a pitch out as the ball comes out of your hand. Barry Bonds used to do it all the time.
Now here's the interesting. It's 3-1. You know, can you think he can throw a changeup here, Vogelsong, down and away, and get Bryce to chase and try to hit a rollover grounder to panic?
If you have command, and you throw 91, 92, you throw a fastball down and away, and he's going to try and throw him a fastball down and away right here.
And it's just low for ball 4. Harper reaches base for the 9th time in 11 plate appearances in this series.
That right there.
Yep.
I guarantee you last year he swings at that pitch because it's 3-1. He's trying to hit one off the scoreboard in right center field, down in the zone, and he takes it.
Well, here's what you can't do, Ryan Vogelsong. You've got to make that pitch, not throw it hard. That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. He hasn't done that most of the night
tonight. Look at his eyes, though. Look at his eyes. Yep.
That was a take.
That was a take out of his hand.
And that ball's center cut, too. Down for a lefty. Never thought about it.
So here's Robinson, bounced into a double play in the first. And he skies the first pitch that he sees into shallow right field. Blanco there, 2 down. We asked Matt Williams actually on Friday, before we did the game on Friday, when you see Harper, who does he remind you of in terms of his personality, his competitiveness on the field? And he mentioned 2 people, guys. He mentioned Will Clark and he mentioned Kirk Gibson. Your thoughts?
That's such a opposite ends of the spectrum. Will Clark was a good old boy, an unbelievable first baseman, defensive player. They were both incredibly intense.
Right.
That's the one thing I remember about them.
And that's what Matt Williams is drawing.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And they were both really talented, too.
There goes Harper. Pitch taken, throw down, not in time. He steals his 4th base of the season. Boy, every time that he dives head first.
Well, 2 things happen here. One, you never want to see him slide head first. But the other thing is, you're telling Ryan Vogelsong, if you're going to walk me, I'm going to steal. I can steal a base. But yes, right here. But this is what got him here at a young age. But this is what happened to him last year when he hurt his thumb and missed a lot of time. Last year is this head first slide, especially.
But you see the hand
with the
up.
second base. Yeah, the hand was up, and he's keeping the glove in his hand.
Yeah.
But I still would rather see him slide feet first.
And as a pitcher,
Ramos lines the ball to left, right at belt, and the inning is over. 1-0 Nationals at the end of 3. We'll talk to Max Scherzer when we come back. Scherzer with a one-hitter in a 16 strikeout game against Milwaukee on June the 14th, and then in his very next start, a no-hitter, one batter away from a perfect game against the Pirates on June the 20th. And very pleased to be joined by Max Scherzer from the Nationals dugout. Max, thanks for joining us. Dan Schulman, John Kruk, Kurt Schilling. What were those two back-to-back starts like for you?
Oh, they were amazing. I just felt locked. I felt locked with every pitch. I could execute every pitch I wanted, and was just in sync with both the catchers. Loby caught the one in Milwaukee, and then Willie for the Pittsburgh one, and everything they put down, I just was able to execute.
And you can obviously keep your focus because the guy.
Yeah, nothing will distract me.
Yeah. Did they distract you like that during the no-hitter? Did they leave you alone?
No one can mess with me when I pitch. I'm in the tunnel. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
So, Max, I'm curious, where, from a pitcher's perspective, I mean, you're the veteran, kind of the leader on the staff. Where do you fit? How do you fit? And what kind of group of guys is it from a spring training to now perspective? Obviously, very supportive.
Yeah, you just try, bring ideas that I've had in the American League, and listen. These guys are really good too, so they have really good ideas as well. And just try to find out, just try to learn the game in the National League, and just watch each other pitch and try to emulate each other's strengths.
Here comes another friend. Have you ever been this popular before in your life?
Times. Animal Sanchez used to do this a lot, so I'm experienced.
Speaking of a former Tiger teammate, you played years with Miguel Cabrera, arguably the best hitter in baseball, besides Anthony Rendon right there. But you get to see Bryce Harper on a daily basis. He's not Miguel Cabrera yet, but how close is he getting?
Guys, it's special. You're right. Bryce is not Miguel Cabrera yet. Miggy's the best hitter in the game just because he can absolutely do everything. But Bryce can do some really special stuff. He's able to hit pitches for home runs the way Miggy can. And so I've seen Bryce grow from the beginning of the year till now, and it's scary how much he's grown. The scary thing is how much more he has in front of him. So it's really fun to watch him do stuff.
How has he grown? What have the changes been?
Just as patient at the plate. The way he can recognize, he anticipates what the pitcher's doing now. And that's the fun thing that you can do.
There's a lot of stress down there, huh, Max?
Yeah, just a little stuff. Your teammates want to take care of you. And you take care of your teammates, they want to take care of you.
You notice they're not touching that right hand.
Yeah. They're smart.
Like Lobaton knows there's a game going on, right?
Oh, yeah. But this is typical stuff. This is what baseball players do.
You guys have had so many injuries to deal with. He's back again. You guys have had so many injuries to deal with. How anxious are you guys to get Rendon, Zimmerman, and Worth back? Just one eye.
Oh, man. They're only doing the brown and blue for us jails now. It's just one of those things you deal with. Injuries are part of baseball and part of sports. You just got to find guys who want to step up and continue to help the team. And we found guys. Quentin Robinson's doing great things for us, and Mikey T's playing a great outfield for us. So it's players like that have to step up, and they're doing it. And that's why we're winning ball games right now.
Max, how did this chocolate syrup thing start?
It all started in Atlanta when we were down 9-0, and we came all the way back. And Ugly hit basically a walk-off bomb that put us ahead. And after the game, I ran the clubhouse trying to find anything. I was like, I gotta get him. And I ran into the food room and saw that right in the fridge was that chocolate sauce. And so I just grabbed it, ran back down there, and got him with it. So it just kind of started all from that.
How many did you get poured on you after the no-hitter?
Oh man, that was a lot.
You were covered.
That was the thing. I got a few of the guys over a few of the games, and so it felt like it was a revenge factor. And so I think they said they got like 6 bottles out and poured it all over. So it was a great.
Definitely worth it.
You're sporting some seeds up on the roof right now. You got a ton of seeds on the top of your cap.
Yeah, like I said, I can do any interview.
There's strike 3 call to get Posey 2 down. Max, compare Max Scherzer 5 years ago to Max Scherzer now. How have you changed and evolved over the last few years?
I've just gotten better every single year. I can't say for 5 years. It's just every year I'm better than I was last year. I just feel like I'm more consistent. I'm able to pound the zone at a higher rate. My curveball feels like it's more consistent. I'm able to throw that now even behind the count. And I just feel like I'm locked out there, and I'm attacking the hitters and not walking guys, and I feel like that's the reason why I'm having success.
You've started an all-star game. How much do you want to start one this year?
No, I'm not going to politic for one, but I definitely starting them. It's amazing. That was an amazing feeling, amazing accomplishment that you'll be able to start an all-star game. So if I'm blessed enough to be able to start another one, that'd be great.
Because Buster's interviewing Bochy in the next break, we can have him throw a question from you to Bochy if you want. So.
No, I don't politic. Right. Even though I'm in D.C., we got a lot of politicians here. Maybe they can step up on my behalf.
We got one up in the booth too, Max.
Well, then you do it.
No, not me.
Well,
the other pitcher.
Well, whether you started or not, you're going to be there. Congratulations on a great first half. Continued success through the season.
Stay healthy, man.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
Try to fit in with the guys a little bit better if you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Max Scherzer, one of the good guys and one of the great pitchers in baseball. Brandon Crawford launches one to right, and as Crucky said, this game is tied.
3-0.
Number 12 on the season for Crawford. Every home run he hits is a new career high.
I don't necessarily blame Zimmerman here. This is one where you're not I wasn't expecting a 3-0 swing by any stretch. Tried to get a strike to get back in the at bat, and wow.
Well, you got to look at Blanco hitting behind him, 3-0 count. I mean, Crawford, like Dan said, every home run now is a new career high. He has been struggling. Boach took a shot and turned him loose, and he rewarded him.
Nice play by Desmond to get Blanco, and the inning is over. Our thanks to Max Scherzer for joining us. Home run by Crawford ties the game. A loose group, it appears, in the Nationals dugout. They're having fun. To the bottom of the fourth inning. Between innings, Buster Olney had a chance to speak with Giants manager Bruce Bochy.
Bruce, your call with Brandon Crawford worked out. What was your thinking?
Well, he's got power. There's a time there you want him to air it out, let it go. I mean, we're facing a tough pitcher. Odds are you're probably not going to get 2 or 3 hits. So he's a guy that does some damage for us. So we turned him loose.
Hunter Pence took batting practice before the game. What did you see in him, and how close is he?
Man, it's really encouraging. He's really ramped up his baseball activities. He was letting it go today, so that's good news for us. We thought maybe after the All-Star break, but he could be playing in 2-3 days. So hopefully, gets back soon. We need him.
Coach, thanks.
Thanks, Bud.
No, they do need him. They have been struggling without him. They've lost 5 in a row. Such an important player. The offensive production, the energy. Espinosa is going to try to bunt his way aboard, and he will succeed.
Yeah, and Buster Posey was playing back, as you could see. It took a while to get there. Once that ball gets past Vogelsong, the way Espinosa got the great start out of the box right there. That's a tough pitch to bunt, too. Get it on the ground and pitch up in the zone. But once he got it past Vogelsong, and he made Posey have to go get it because Panic had no chance. It went into no man's land, no chance.
Here's why that's a big deal, even if they don't score. And as a pitcher, if I'm Vogelsong right now, Zimmerman's coming to the plate this inning unless you get a double play. And you want your pitcher, you want to have that pitcher spot leading off the next inning. So you're trying everything you can do here to make sure Taylor's the last out of this inning if you can make it happen.
Here's Desmond, who struck out his first time up. Throw driving Espinosa back.
Well, Vogelsong command has been pretty good. You wonder if at some point, in this situation, Espinosa leading off the inning with the bunt single, if you try to put a hit and run on just to get Desmond to calm his swing down a little bit and just try to put a ball in play.
Giants just tied it in the top of the fourth inning and a home run by Brandon Crawford. Nationals have the leadoff man aboard in the bottom half of the inning.
2-0 right here. This will tell you how bad a guy's struggling. If he gets a good pitch and puts a good swing on it, you're okay with. If he chases a pitch out of the strike zone, then you know it could be a while before he comes out of any slump.
I'm throwing a slider right here, just because I know
dead red middle in.
Yep. Cutter.
Any chance to turn him loose?
He might just
get him out of his fun.
Well, you would have to think you're getting a good pitch right here. But again, it's up to Desmond to make sure it's a good pitch. Just because you give a guy a green light doesn't mean you have to swing.
He did give him the green light, and he got a pitch to hit.
And you saw Sousa give the sign right there with the flick of his wrist, like, hey, he's a good chance he's swinging here.
That was a pitch to hit.
Yep.
It looked like it got by him a little.
Well, but I think he tried to jerk that ball to left, and that ball was kind of center out. If he barrels that ball, he crushes that ball to right center.
And he has power too to center.
Yep.
To all fields, really.
3-2.
Yeah, that's a ball. He was set up to hit and just missed. The ball was running. He was looking there.
That's the sign right there.
Yeah.
Every time I was struggling, if you saw me staring at my bat, I was questioning what was wrong with it.
Let's see if Espinosa's on the move. Vogelsong's only gotten one swing and a miss in 58 pitches. Runner starts, stops. The ball is lined to right center field. Pagan will make the catch.
And that's another thing that'll keep you in your struggles. You finally work yourself ahead in the count. You get 3-0. Eventually it works to 3-2, and you still hit a ball pretty good right here in the gap in right center field. And the thing I like about it, though, is Desmond stayed on it. It wasn't a pull off. It wasn't an overswing. He just got robbed by Pagan.
So a nice running catch by Pagan for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Michael Taylor, who swung at the first pitch that he saw and lined a base into left field, driving in the Nationals' run back in the second. 29th RBI on the season for Taylor. A natural center fielder, but with Worth out with an injury, out with that wrist problem, playing mostly left field for the Nationals.
And here's where you throw over. You hope you keep Espinosa close, because you don't want to throw a first pitch fastball to Taylor. If I'm Espinosa, I think I'm running right here, because unless it's a pitch out.
You don't want a chance. You want Zimmerman up this inning.
Taylor, a 6th round pick of the Nationals back in 2009, actually drafted as a shortstop, converted to an outfielder, and now as an outfielder primarily played center field coming up through the minors, but with Span here playing more in left field right now. Andrew Susac, the catcher for the Giants tonight, has thrown out only 14% of opposing base stealers this season. One ball, one strike. And with Vogelsong on the mound this year, nobody has been thrown out, including Harper, who stole a base an inning ago.
I think I wouldn't be hesitant for Espinosa to run. Looks like you got a little bigger lead.
Yep.
How come whenever the pitcher throws over, the home crowd boos? Is he not allowed to?
Well, I think that was just one of those things that became popular, like the wave. just because.
Not going. 1-2 the count on Taylor.
Guys, I got a question for you. You guys are used to seeing Bruce Bochy at the top of the dugout step. Well, there have been times during this game, and this is one of those situations when he actually is deep in the Giants dugout as he runs through signs. Could there be a reason for that, to try to hide him from the opposing bench?
I mean, depending on how you can see across. Usually that's when the manager backs away. He might just be tired because he's sitting. But you usually have 2 or 3 guys in the dugout giving signs. One of them's only the real one. Only one person's actually giving signs. Terry Francona was outstanding at picking up opponent signs. And by the way, he is apparently on a fudge-sickle marathon tonight.
He is watching the game.
Number 10. He's on apparently fudge-sickle number 10, and he wanted us to say hello. So that's a big league manager. In the manner, you talk about best managers in the game, somehow his name keeps getting mentioned.
Indians lost today 5-3 to the Pirates, but boy, they've been getting some great starting pitching of late, trying to get back into it in the AL Central. Strike 3 called to get Taylor.
Great pitch.
After going up and in to get a foul ball.
That's literally a perfect pitch.
Perfect.
You can't hit it. And if you do, it's a roller back to the mound. But still, this inning's a win right here from the Nats, even if they don't score, because your pitcher's out up this inning. Don't do anything dumb on first base. And you got the top of the lineup next inning.
Outside ball 1 to Zimmerman.
Hey, remember, Zimmerman might have hit the hardest ball that the Nationals have hit today.
Wound up on a fielder's choice as he hit the ball sharply down to third. 1-1 tie. Each team with 3 hits as the Nationals bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nationals will stay home and open up a series with Cincinnati tomorrow. The Giants will stay the night here in Washington, fly back to San Francisco in the morning, and head straight to the ballpark for the beginning of their series tomorrow night with the Mets. As we head into the final week before the All-Star break. Fly ball to left center field, hanging up long enough for Belt to come over and end the inning. End of 4, tied at 1. Holiday weekend in the nation's capital. Sunday Night Baseball from Washington, D.C. capital. 4th of July holiday weekend. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Dan Schulman, Kurt Schilling, John Kruk, Buster Olney, and yesterday about 2 million other folks who visited this city for all the festivities. Nice crowds all weekend long for this 3-game series between the Giants and the Nationals. Andrew Susac, the batter, leading off the 5th for the Giants, and he sends one foul off to the right. Susac, Ere Adrianza, and then Ryan Vogelsong, the pitchers, 7, 8, and 9 of the Giants lineup.
Oh, that sounded good with that one. That rolled off the tongue.
Ere Adrianza.
Yeah. He's got a future.
Our thanks to Matt Chisholm, PR director for the San Francisco Giants.
That's always my funnest part of the week when we go down there. You asking the PR person names. There's like 4 or 5.
It's better than asking the manager how to
right.
pronounce names, unless you want to get them wrong.
Well, yeah,
I don't mean these managers. I mean any manager.
No, Tito.
Oh, please.
Yeah, Tito would give you, Bob Smith for Andrew Jones.
How many times have we gone and talked to Matt and say, hey, how do you pronounce his name? Yeah, I'm really not sure.
I call him Bub.
Yeah.
Bub, hey, Chief.
Yeah. This is Susac. And the 1-2 is up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I actually had a manager tell me once, don't worry about it. He's not going to be here long.
Well, is he going to be here tonight?
I said, then you better not bring him in.
Yeah. And a swing and a miss for strikeout number 5 for Jordan Zimmerman.
Well, Jordan Zimmerman is a guy that works down in the zone, but he can work up effectively as long as he's working to the middle outer half, because he's pitching to this ballpark. Dead center being the big part of the park. When he gets the ball in the middle half of the plate you get in trouble. Anybody does. And you look at that ball right there. Not as up, but also not as center or out. Was in, and Crawford hammered it. Such a hard place in the strike zone to dominate, because you have to make a mistake to throw a pitch up there.
This rotation is something else. We're seeing Zimmerman tonight. We talked to Max Scherzer, who's having an incredible season. The Washington starters, as of about 10 days ago, they had a streak of 47 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings. That was the longest stretch in over 40 years, back to when the Baltimore Orioles did it. I believe it was back in 1974.
I think Palmer and Cuellar and
I mean, this is, when you thought about this team coming into the season, this is what you thought about. This is the first thing you thought about, that this has the potential to be the best rotation in baseball. Steven Strasburg going back on the DL today after straining a muscle, an oblique strain in last night's game. They've called up Taylor Jordan for the bullpen. They could move Tanner Roark, who was a starter the last couple of years, into the rotation, but they don't need the 5th spot until after the All-Star break. So they've just got an extra reliever right now. But well, you think about meeting up with these guys.
Well, but I mean, when you look at that, the guy in the middle, Strasburg in the middle, is the one that kind of stuns you. Like, they're that good, and he's struggled as much as he has. I thought it was really interesting when we were talking to Matty, both Friday and today, Dan, how much he was. You could see him getting his feel for talking to pitchers, and how he's trying to learn how to communicate with his pitchers and his pitching staff, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I have a feeling when he was playing, he didn't participate much with talking to you guys.
No, I spoke to him on the day I pitched for defense, for alignment to position, and asked him for help positioning. And Matty did a lot of my defensive organization on the left side of the infield and the outfield, but he didn't talk much at all as a player. And he communicated fine. He just didn't like to do it. That's why his nickname was the Marine. And he scared people.
Is he the same as a manager as he was as a player in terms of his...
No. Oh, well, yeah, from his demeanor.
Yeah,
that never changes. That's one of those things. He learned how to play the game the right way. He always played the right way. He hit his home runs. He hit the ball, put his head down, and ran around the bases really fast. And defensively, I think he was incredibly underrated.
And he can do a mean Babe Ruth imitation.
Yes, he can.
Yeah,
that's a great video.
Yeah, but he was one of those guys from. I played with Ken Caminiti, Scott Rowland, and Matty Williams at third base, and each one of them was unique defensively. And he was one of those guys that if it touched his glove.
Wow, the Giants are not enjoying the strike zone at all tonight.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough.
Well, the thing is, you look where Ramos is set up. He's set up in. The ball drifts out over the plate. And, but you look at Phil Cuzzy. He actually leaned.
Well, here's
to try to get a better look at that.
You can't. You're going to get the call from a missed pitch when the catcher goes out. When he has to cross his body, even if it's on the middle plate, you almost never get that call.
But the umpire always sets up inside.
Right.
Over the inside. Like a right-handed hitter, he's over the left shoulder. The catcher, left-handed hitter, he's over the right side. He actually leaned to try to see that pitch.
Yeah.
But if you have to lean to see it, isn't it a ball?
Well, you're not going to see it. Well, not necessarily, because he's setting up on the inside. You know, he's setting up over here, and he's going across here, but he's still on the plate when he's doing it. So he thinks he's seeing it. But once you start moving, you can't. Because I went back there early in my career to watch balls and strikes to see. It's hard. It's so hard, and they're moving so fast. But I always, as a hitter right there, you got to be, you just don't know what a strike is.
Another strikeout. Zimmerman strikes out the side. Bryce Harper due up third for the Nationals when we come back. To the free award-winning game millions are playing. Download MLB.com Home Run Derby free on the App Store and Google Play. Top of the order for the Nationals: Span, Escobar, and Harper as they come up at the bottom of the fifth in a 1-1 tie.
You want my pick? Home Run Derby?
We don't know the contestants.
I know one.
We know one. Well, we assume Todd Frazier, right?
That's
so
my pick.
That's your pick.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had this conversation.
Yeah, good talking to you. We'll have to talk again soon when we don't have more time.
Unfortunately, Giancarlo Stanton got hurt, or he would have been all kinds of fun. Maybe Harper goes in it. That would be fun.
That'd be nice. Love to see Trout in it, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Albert said he wanted to be in it.
It feels to me like the guys are going to make that park feel like they did in Fenway. Like it's just going to play like a little bitty shoebox.
And the lefties can hit it in the river.
Oh. Across the river.
A ball and a strike on Span. He is grounded out and flied out. Slashes it down the left field line, just foul.
You ever in a home run derby, Kirk?
No.
The thing that gets me about the guys that talk about it is how scared, nervous they get on the field because there's no batting cage.
No batting cage.
Nothing. And it's like
You're out there on your own.
and there's 50 or 60,000 people in the stands waiting for you not to hit a bomb.
I don't know that we'll ever see the kind of display we saw from Josh Hamilton at Old Yankee Stadium. That was something else.
Yeah. Well, there are things that these guys do every now and then that make you understand why people said the things they did. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, someone's running.
Yep. Here it goes. Masks off. Someone's. Yeah.
The Giants have not been happy with the strike zone all night long. Bruce Bochy has been upset at least 3 times tonight. With Phil
there we go.
Oh boy! And now Vogelsong's walking in towards home plate, and Bochy's walking out. And I think Vogelsong got tossed.
Vogelsong saying he did not say anything to Cuzzy.
Well, this has been building.
Yeah, after the pitch, though, Vogelsong just turned and walked away before the catcher even threw the ball back to him.
That's an inexperienced catcher right there, too.
Do you agree with the fact that if a pitcher starts walking and is told to stop walking towards the umpire, that he should get tossed?
Depends on who he's talking to, because he clearly said, I didn't say anything to Cuzzy. He's telling Jerry Davis, I didn't say anything to him. He could have been talking to his catcher. He could have been talking. I don't know. I'm assuming he was talking to the umpire. But this is not Phil's job. Phil's having a bad night. I guarantee you he knows he's having a bad night. What gets me is if Phil Cuzzy turns around and says to Boch, hey, you know what? I missed that pitch. I'm trying to get it right. There's no argument. And I've had the good ones always said, hey, Phil, I missed it. And there's no comeback for that. If I keep arguing, then I'm trying to get thrown out anyway. But he has had a bad night tonight, and
the calls that you guys have questioned that have appeared to be questionable, every one of them appears to have gone against the Giants.
They aren't questionable. He missed them, and it happens. But again, the easiest defense for an umpire is when they miss is to say, and he knows. I guarantee you, Greg, he knows he missed a couple of those.
Well, you hope.
But Phil always had a little short fuse.
And the thing is, after the pitch, before Susac could even throw the ball back to Vogelsong, Vogelsong turned his back and walked back behind the mound.
Right.
And I thought, oh boy, this couldn't be good.
That's why you do it, though. You turn around because you don't want to put. But the other part is Susac has to immediately engage the home plate umpire.
Yes.
And that's where I think he made a big mistake. And he's also, from a playing perspective, he's a younger player, but.
So Josh Osich will come into the game. He'll make his second major league appearance. We'll step aside while he warms up. Vogelsong ejected from the game by home plate umpire Phil Cuzzi. The Giants have had issues with the strike zone all night long, and it finally boiled over. So Vogelsong is tossed, and Josh Osich, who made his major league debut on Friday in this series, 26-year-old left-hander, and his contract purchased from AAA Sacramento just prior to Friday's game. He will make his second big league appearance, and he'll face Bryce Harper for the second time in as many appearances, because Harper's just a couple of batters away. Let's go back and revisit what led to the ejection of Vogelsong. A close pitch that does not go the Giants' way. Vogelsong visibly frustrated, as you can see. Bruce Bochy's been barking a little bit, and then Vogelsong comes off the mound and points, and Cuzzi says, stop walking.
No, but before Vogelsong points, Phil says something around the catcher to him. He starts the conversation. But as a pitcher, that's what you do. You turn away because you don't want to say something, and you want to keep that confrontational piece out as much as you can. But also, it's the catcher's job. For me, I always thought, stand up and engage the umpire immediately. Get it, talk to him. Hey, he's frustrated, this or that or whatever, because that can't happen. Now your bullpen's going to pay for this with, 5 innings if it goes 9.
But it didn't appear, though, even though Vogelsong's walking toward home plate, he didn't look like he said anything.
I don't know what he said.
So how can you throw a guy out if he didn't say anything?
But if you watch that conversation, you see Cuzzi lean to his right and say something to him before he starts he starts walking in. That's where to me that's where the league has to stop these guys. Don't take your mask off. When they take their mask off, there's immediately you got guys competing.
Okay, so just playing devil's advocate, Vogelsong keeps walking. Now he's 2 feet in front of the plate.
You can always throw the excuse out. I want to talk to my catcher. I want to ask him where that pitch is. If you don't say nothing, you can't. I don't care where he walks. You can't throw him out for walking towards anything.
He told him to stop. In his mind, that. But here, the thing about that, Crocky, and you know this as well as I do, these guys are humans. This is very much a part of, especially as a pitcher and a starting pitcher, it's very much a part of my game to know these guys, to know. I guarantee you Ryan Vogelsong knew the second he stepped off that dirt, he was not going to be in this game. And you got to stop yourself at that point, because winning the game and
you have to remember, he got called out on a strike call the last out of the previous half inning,
and he said something
and
walking
he didn't
away.
like that call either as a hitter.
So Osich, who inherits a 2-2 count, strikes out Span.
I'll tell you what, and that's a borderline pitch. It's a pretty good pitch, but there's going to be more run on this one. But here's what we're talking about with Vogelsong. He made the last out of the top of the 5th inning, and there's the pitch, and you see right there he didn't like the pitch, and the thing is, he's heard it in their bench. A lot of the players for the Giants haven't liked some of the calls that have been made against him, and rightfully so. And so you get a call and you think, okay, here, this is bad. And then he gets one he thought was a strike that gets called a ball, and of course now it's like he's against us.
The issue becomes, as you get older, you understand every single pitch is crucial. Don't care what the count is. Every single pitch is crucial. The outcome is setting up another pitch, is a pitch that you set up to throw. And as hard as it's impossible in one sense, but you want them to be perfect. You want them to call a strike strikes and a ball's balls.
Or if they're not perfect, you want consistency. Right?
Absolutely. That's the
next
only word you care about. Yeah. I want it big. I'd love to have balls called strikes, but strike 1 needs to be strike 3, and ball 1 needs to be ball 4 for hitters.
3-0 on Escobar with Harper waiting on deck.
I don't think those two, Bochy and Vogelsong, are going to be the only two that get run out of this one.
So Vogelsong ejected, Bruce Bochy ejected. Frustrating night for the Giants, frustrating week for the Giants. If they lose tonight, it's an 0-6 road trip. Chopper left side, long throw coming for Crawford, stretched by Posey to get Escobar 2 down. Time now for our high strength performance, brought to you by Chevy Silverado.
Well, Bryce Harper, you see in 2012, The elbow's up in both 2012, 2015, but look at the difference in the bat angle. And what that does, because he's resting on his shoulder, he gets to the ball a little bit quicker, and he has an open stance also. So he's got both eyes on the pitcher. Everything's focused in. But with the bat resting on his shoulder, it's just one little move, and then it's accelerate through the ball. With the bat straight up, it takes a little longer to get there.
4 for 6 with 5 walks in the series.
And I go back to the first pitch again. The first pitch fastball of the game. He swings and hits. Breaking ball is second at bat for a ball. Change up there for a ball. Now he's in a hitter's count right off the bat.
Osich faced him on Friday. Got him on a fly ball to center field. Leading vote getter in the National League. He'll be a starter in the All-Star game in Cincinnati. Second in the league in batting average, second in the league in home runs, fourth in the league in RBIs. Leading the majors in slugging percentage and OPS. And he's 22.
Is that all?
And you guys said you were in Elmira and Walla Walla when you were 22? Is that what you said?
No. Yeah, 22.
Oh, no, was that 19? That was 19. You were talking about when he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Where were you at 22? Were you in the big leagues yet?
Yeah, I had gotten my date, my call up.
Yeah.
No, I was. I don't even know where I was.
89?
Where?
Where were you?
Where?
1989.
No, you were 22 in 89. He wasn't 22 in 89.
Oh, you were 22 in 75.
75. Now I'm confused. I don't know where I was.
Just forget the Fibonacci.
Popped up back of the plate. And Susak will not have a play. Right-hander George Contos, who's had a terrific year for the Giants, is up in the bullpen.
And I understand the frustration from Vogelsong, but it's the 5th inning. And you got the game's best hitter right now sitting at the plate.
Hit sharply, but down to first. Nice play by Buster Posey. Harper retired, frustrated, and the inning is over. On ESPN. Here comes your lineup of Major League action this week. Tomorrow night, Monday Night Baseball, presented by USAA. It'll be the Cardinals and the Cubs. You'll see them both Monday and Wednesday here on ESPN. And then 1 week from tonight, we'll be in Pittsburgh as the Pirates. We're playing some great baseball right now. They'll host the Cardinals, and we'll be in the seats up above the Clemente wall in right field. 1 week from tonight on Sunday Night Baseball, the first of 4 consecutive Sunday night games that we will be out amongst the people. So you two at best behave yourselves.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
I just want to know if I need to bring a glove.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
Crutch,
of the 3 of us, who do you think is most likely to protect the other 2?
I don't see one.
We better hire somebody.
Yep.
Nothing against you two, but I don't care.
Maybe Booney can come hang out with us just for the next 4 Sundays. Just protect us.
Booney was all bat.
Booney. Here goes Pagan now arguing too. He argued his last at bat. Now he's arguing this one. It's like I said. There's going to be more guys get run out of this one.
Combination of frustration tonight with the strike zone, frustration with a 5-game losing streak.
Yep.
Well, and one of the other issues for a guy like Phil Cuzzy is he gets into a situation, again, human nature. You make a bad call and you try and make up for it, and you end up getting stuck in a rut of bad call, make up, bad call, make up. '22, Crucky, you were in Beaumont, Texas.
I was?
Yep.
I remember it well.
Chilly there, huh?
No. We won the championship, though, that year.
On the appeal, he didn't go. 2-2 the count on Pagan. After Pagan, Panic, and then Belt. Posey if anybody reaches.
Oh.
A crowd down the left field line. Taylor makes the catch. The Giants and the Nationals here at Nationals Park. Washington winning the first 2 games of the series. Giants have lost 5 in a row. Bryce Harper has only been retired 3 times in 3 games. Tonight he has singled, walked, stolen a base, and a grounded out. Brandon Crawford with a home run for the Giants in the 4th inning that tied the game. It's 1-1 in the 6th.
And who'd have thought coming in this series that Josh Osich would be the guy that got him out 2 of those 3 times.
That's right. The guy who had never pitched in the majors before this series. Panic is 0 for 2. Back goes Span. 2 down.
Hey, Crucky, talk to me here. Your offensive player. This bat toss is what?
Well, it's frustration with popping a ball up, and it's frustration with the umpire feeling like he's forcing you to swing the bat when you don't want to. But, you know, again, he goes back and he says something to Phil Cuzzy, and, you know, that's the thing right now. You have, you know, Ron Wotus and the coaching staff of the Giants has to relay to these guys, stay in the game, please. We need you to stay in the game.
They need a win.
Yes.
They really need a win.
And that's the thing. It's not like it's 8-1 and they're frustrated. It's 1-1. You know, they have a chance in this game.
Vogelsong ejected. Bochy ejected. And Belt didn't like it.
Hitters can't adjust. When the plate goes wide, that's the one. I as a pitcher, I love it, but as a hitter, you can't defend it. You can do the up and down.
He's simmering. Full count. Posey on deck should the inning continue.
Here's where you would think, because of how hot Posey's been, the Belt should get something pretty good to hit right here.
Wow. And you could see Belt. He didn't get rid of that bat that quickly because he was worried that that might get called a strike.
Well, I can tell you right now, umpires do not like when catchers try to frame pitches that are not even close. That ball's not close.
No.
And he tried to hold on to that pitch right there like he was going to show him a strike. And there are some guys, Phil's one of them, who does not like that. That ball's not even. Watch how he holds the glove here. No, but you can't do that because the umpire is going to say, "Hey, don't do that.
You got no chance."
Because you're going to make me look bad. If you're going to frame it, at least have it be close to the corner.
So here's Posey, a base hit and a strikeout. Reaches for one, tops it to short. Desmond with time to throw him out and end the inning. We're going to the bottom of the sixth, the shot of the World War II memorial here in the nation's capital. Sunday Night Baseball. And the Giants, as Clint Robinson takes upstairs ball one from Josh Osich. Robinson a double play ball and a flyout tonight. Contos up again, could be last batter for Osich here after retiring the three that he faced in the fifth inning. Ryan Vogelsong ejected with a 2-2 count on the first batter in the fifth inning. So a lot of innings here coming for the Giants pen. And a little number up the third baseline. That's a foul ball. We saw the velocity on Osich on Friday in his major league debut. Showed 96 with a fastball and 90 with the slider.
Well, yeah, another soft arm from the minor leagues. But I mean, I don't even know where to go. Everybody that comes up now. I mean, here Poach talking about, they got a reliever coming in, middle guy throwing 94, our guy's throwing 87. Like 87 is 77. But that's, you look at what the Royals did last year.
Adrianza in foul territory for out number one. And we'll see if that is all for Osich. Ron Wotus is the acting manager with Bruce Bochy having been ejected from the game. And here he comes. And there's the move. We'll see Contos with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. For live baseball, and Matt is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Again, MLB.com at bat now. Well, here's one of the hazards of having your manager thrown out of the game and your bench coach the acting manager. Ron Wotus comes out and he says, "Give me the lefty." Well, fortunately, there's only one guy up. I mean the righty. Fortunately, George Contos is the only guy up, so he knew that he was coming into the game.
Hey, can you imagine Javier Lopez down there? Wait a second.
And he comes out.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
I remember that in the World Series when Tony went. And I guess it was Lance Lynn, right?
I don't.
Before he had a chance to warm up.
But I excuse them because they were changing pitchers like every hitter.
That was a tough World Series to watch. Starting pitcher goes an inning and a third of an inning, and then bullpen.
Solid outing by the starter tonight. 2 1/3.
Yeah. Quality start.
But the Royals did it last year. I mean, teams are building their strength as a bullpen.
Well, let's give Josh Osich some love here.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Shutout inning Friday. Got Harper on a fly ball.
Got Robinson here to get the first out of the inning in a 1-1 game in the 6th.
Faced Bryce Harper twice, retired him twice in the series. Here's Wilson Ramos to face Contos, who's had a fantastic season out of the Giants pen. Ramos tonight, a walk and a fly ball to left.
Left-handed relievers are at a premium anyway. Left-handed power guys. Well, Matt Thornton is still hanging around.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Had one other night game tonight in the majors, and the Angels beat Texas again, 12-6. They scored 13 runs yesterday. As this ball is driven deep right center field and gone. Ramos takes Contos deep, and the Nationals have the lead.
Crucky, I'm always impressed when a guy goes the other way and knows it off the bat. He knew he crushed that ball.
Yeah, I mean, the first Contos gets ahead with the slider down and away, and then that ball just leaked back over the center of the plate. But yeah, I mean,
he knew it. That's big time pop.
He knew it, but look where it landed. I mean, it wasn't like it was in the 6th row.
Well, that wall. That's a high wall and right. That's impressive.
8th of the season for Ramos. 2-1 Washington in the bottom of the 6th. And the batter is Danny Espinosa. Espinosa switch hitter, but batting from his weaker side here. Another reason why Contos was brought in. Didn't work out against Ramos. Bullpen quiet for the Giants. (2-0). And a swing and a soft liner into center for a base hit.
Well, Danny Espinosa, you mentioned it, Dan, that his weak side is the left side of the plate. You know, you watch his approach at home plate. He has the open stance, but look how his back foot, his left foot, is more pointed toward the second baseman, not straight up with the line. And then when he starts his approach, he kind of pivots back on it, and that it looks like he rolls back on the outside of his foot instead of, you know, staying with all the weight distributed on the ball of his foot and then firing forward. He kind of leans back on that back foot.
I can tell you, as a pitcher, that's one of the things when you see a hitter with his toe pointed that way, you can't go down and hit the outside pitch down and away.
No.
Because you turned your hip in and locked yourself away from the outer half.
Activity now with the Nationals pen. Left-hander Matt Thornton is up. Ian Desmond 0 for 2.
Well, Matt Thornton could be a show-me reliever, just to let the Giants and Ron Wodas know with Jordan Zimmerman coming up that you have to pitch to Ian Desmond and Michael Taylor. You can't pitch around one of them. But I think if I'm the Giants, I'm taking my chances and letting see if they have the pinch hit for Jordan Zimmerman if it comes to that.
Well, you know, if your pitcher comes up to saying he's up with a runner on. Right.
And do you take him out now with a 2-1 lead, only the 6th inning?
Runner goes, throw down, and stealing second is Espinosa.
Well, two things working against Andrew Susac on this play is, one, the great jump by Espinosa, the high leg kick by Contos, and then look at the throw. He was falling away on that throw, and you wonder why that ball's tailing toward right center field. You know, you watch Susac, instead of firing through the ball, he's throwing it and falling backwards. There's no way you can get anything on the throw or anything with accuracy.
Swing and a miss of the breaking ball, 1-2.
He ain't getting cheated, is he?
No. But now you're set up to get, again, the Nats getting that pitcher spot to the plate. He makes this out. You put Taylor at first. You got Jordan up or a pinch hitter. You force him out of the game.
The Nationals 1 for 6 tonight with runners in scoring position. What a play by Panic to prevent a base hit.
Oh, that's an unbelievable play by Joe Panic, but that's how you hit 215 too. that's awful. But I mean, if you're Ian Desmond, it's awful for the Giants. Oh, what a play!
Well, he's hit, the last 2 balls he's hit on the nose.
He was holding Espinosa on, and you know, once Contos went to it, you know, lifted his leg, he went back over, so he was going to his left and then had to go back to his right to catch that ball.
And they're going to pitch to Taylor.
Well, I think the reason why they're pitching to Taylor here is just what you saw. You're going to see slider, fastball out of the zone. If Taylor wants to get himself out, so be it. If he doesn't, okay, we'll let you walk, and you guys got to make a decision on Jordan Zimmerman.
This at bat right here is why, to me, the 8th hole in the National League is the hardest place in the game to hit.
Especially for a youngster.
Yep.
And that's caught way too much of the plate. Way too much.
2 outs, runner at second, and an 0-2 count on Michael Taylor, an RBI single and a called strikeout. Santos shakes off Susac a couple of times. Slider down and away, ball 1.
You know when K-Zone has the dot like just past the green grass, it's probably not a strike.
Not a get me over.
No.
But this is part of the I think the art of pitching in the big leagues is you've got to make the pitch look like a strike until it gets there to get swings. That was a non-competitive pitch.
Oh, he chased one a foot outside to end the inning. But earlier, Cantos did give up a home run. Wilson Ramos ripping one the other way to right center field. His 8th home run of the season, and on that swing, the Nationals once again have the lead. 2-1 Nats at the end of 6. SFN brought to you by Taco Bell. Top of the 7th here at Nationals Park with John Kruk, Kurt Schilling, Buster Olney. I'm Dan Schulman. 2-1 the Nationals lead, trying to sweep the series and hand the Giants their 6th consecutive loss. The Giants have had 4 losing streaks of 5 or more already this year. They have been a very streaky team, but overall are 42-40, just 2 games over the 500 mark. 3.5 back of the Dodgers in the National League West. The Dodgers losing to the Mets earlier today. Crawford, the batter, his home run in the 4th, the only run of the night for the Giants. And there is a high breaking ball for a strike. That pitch a couple of times earlier in the game has been one that has frustrated the Giants.
Oh, wow. That's the thing. That's the difference between 2-0 and 1-1. What did Crawford do his last at bat? 3-0. He hits a home run. Now the count's even. It's a whole different at bat for the hitter.
You can see the frustration too. The coaches on the bench.
Ron Wotus, the acting manager, after both Ryan Vogelsong, the starting pitcher, and Giants manager Bruce Bochy were ejected in the top of the 5th inning after what they felt were an accumulation of calls that had gone against them.
Hitting coach Hensley Mullins. Bam Bam Mullins. Kind of a minor league legend.
And a Swing and a miss, one down. Strikeout number 8 for Jordan Zimmermann. Let's show you some of the pitches, guys. Take it away that have upset the Giants.
Well, this is the K zone. I mean, nights when umpires are missing, they generally, you kind of feel like they miss for both. You're talking coming into this inning, 5 pitches for Jordan Zimmermann outside, kind of badly outside. A lot of strike twos, and you know, Vogelsong, who clearly expected that to be a strike. But he's doing what you're supposed to do as a pitcher. He's upset, but he's turned away, not talking directly to the umpire. It's an unwinnable game, though. When you're got to beat the other team and you got to beat the umpire.
Gregor Blanco, the batter, 0 for 2. Wow. The hot corner. Yunel Escobar with a great play, 2 down.
You're playing in for the bunt, respecting the speed of Gregor Blanco. Tell you what reflex. That's a converted shortstop to third base this year. Look at that. That's great reflexes, great clock. You know, he knows even though he's on the ground, he doesn't have to hurry. Always hit so hard no matter who's running. You ain't beating that one out. We got to play.
Looks like somebody in the Giants dugout having some fun with Escobar. Maybe Blanco, the guy who hit the ball. Escobar, as you said, a natural shortstop, was actually supposed to play a lot of second base for the Nationals, but the injuries forced Matt Williams to kind of reconfigure his infield, and they've moved Escobar over to third, put Espinosa at second, and even when Rendon comes back, the plan is to leave Escobar third. Rendon will play mostly second. Now charging Desmond. Dug out at first by Robinson. Susac retired, and the inning is over. from the nation's capital. Doing a little work on the Capitol building. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's a 2-1 lead for the Nationals. A chance to remind you about the Gillette Home Run Derby presented by Head & Shoulders. It's coming your way 1 week from tomorrow, the 13th of July at 8 o'clock Eastern Time right here on ESPN. And then the All-Star Game the next night, Tuesday the 14th. The 86th All-Star Game. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 Pacific on Fox. Jordan Zimmermann 7 strong tonight, and that'll be all. Dan Uggla is going to bat in Zimmerman's spot to begin the bottom of the 7th for Washington. Zimmermann 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Well done. He's now given up just 1 run in his last 23 2/3 innings. Uggla, a part-time player right now for the Nationals, had a big moment earlier in the season. Actually, Max Scherzer talked about it when we were talking to him. A 3-run home run in the 9th inning of a game against his former team, Atlanta, that turned a 12-10 deficit into a 13-12 lead and eventually a win.
They were down 9-0.
Yep, and won 13-12. The only home run that Uggla has this season.
Guys, Jordan Zimmermann's ERA down to 3.04. Big free agent in the fall. And Schill, I know you work for teams. Sometimes in terms of looking at pitchers, what would you tell a team that asked you about Jordan Zimmermann?
Well, I don't think he has any more or less risk from an injury perspective, and I have heard nothing about. I don't think there's a downside to him. I think he's a guy, if you're going to go out and spend money, he's a guy you spend money on, because I think he's as sure a bet as there's going to be out there. Love the makeup, love the stuff. Top of the rotation guy.
Could have David Price, Jeff Samardzija. Maybe even Zach Greinke. He can opt out of his contract. And you got a 1.48 ERA. You got to be thinking about your options. Big stretch at first by Posey, and Uggla retired. A 1.48 ERA for Zach Greinke at the midway point of the season.
I'm not sure. And I hear people talking about the market, but I hear Samardzija's name in that group. And I think it could be, but I don't. I think Samardzija's a guy somebody takes after they miss maybe on one of those guys, because he has it, to me, taking that final step of top of the rotation, give me the ball opening day guy.
Johnny Cueto, another guy who's going to be a free agent at the end of the season.
He just needs to prove he's healthy.
Span with a ground ball, big hop for Posey. 2 down. Well, those are pitchers who will be free agents at the end of the season. How about pitchers who have just come back, having not pitched at all this season? Matt Cain returned on Thursday for the Giants. Jake Peavy returned Friday, pitched very well, but he had pitched a little bit in April. Jose Fernandez is back, and what a boost that could be for the Marlins in the second half. Matt Moore returning for the Rays after Tommy John surgery. Same thing Fernandez and Patrick Corbin went through. Cain, multiple injuries, including a couple of elbow problems, and Irvin Santana back from his PED suspension, just rejoining the Minnesota Twins. So whatever the case, whatever the cause was to keep the pitcher out, guys, that's like a trade. I mean, that's like getting a guy for nothing at the middle of the season to boost your rotation.
Some potential top of the rotation guys as well. Santana could be, they're all the other guys were injured and all the things that go with that, but he could be interesting from a potential trade perspective with the teams looking for pitching.
Yep. The problem is Minnesota's still in it.
Yep.
They're in a playoff spot right now, and it's only halfway through the season, and everybody in the American League at the beginning of play today, nobody in the American League was more than 6.5 games out of a playoff spot. Nobody.
Yeah, there's only a few teams I can think of off the top of my head that you would think, okay, they have no chance.
Well, if you listen to Buster talk, all the teams,
Milwaukee, Philadelphia,
there's 28 teams in it.
I think if you're playing that poorly, you just send an email or call all 29 teams and say,
who do you want?
Come and get them.
Hey, Milwaukee's won 8 in a row.
Yes. And they're doing the exact opposite of last year. Last year they got off to the great start. This year the bad start.
Phillies are out of it. We can agree.
They were out of it.
Phillies are out of it.
They were out of it like mid-March.
Cincinnati made a little run. Now they have fallen back a bit. If they decide to move some players, they got some players who will interest people. Escobar grounds out. 3 up and 3 down in the bottom of the 7th. Our game in Cincinnati a week from Tuesday. Back here in Washington, we go to the top of the 8th inning. It is 2-1 for the Nationals over the Giants, and a newcomer to Washington, most recently with the Yankees. Right-hander David Carpenter is in, or at least the outset of the 8th inning. Left-hander Matt Thornton is up in the pen. Ere Adrianza is going to lead it off for the Giants. Matt Duffy has come out in the on-deck circle. A fellow West Virginian, my friend.
Yep, he is.
How many other West Virginians are in the big leagues that you know of?
Nick Swisher.
Yeah. That about it?
No, Jed Jerko.
Yeah.
Jed's awful. He texted you. Never gets back to you. Never. That could be a hint.
Right. Might just be you.
Yeah. Well,
you give that hint off sometimes yourself, my friend.
Did you just say sometimes?
But that's not by choice. Well, it is by choice.
It is actually by choice. Carpenter was designated for assignment a few weeks back by the Yankees, and then the Yankees and Nationals made a trade. Casey Jansen often handles the 8th inning for Washington, but pitched yesterday and doesn't typically pitch on a back-to-back days. So Carpenter and possibly Thornton in the 8th, and if it goes the way the Nationals want it to go, Drew Storen in the 9th. Nice catch by Robinson.
Adrianza right there goes down and gets that slider down in the dirt. But look at, I mean, you talked about it. What is 6'5"?
Yep.
Yeah, that's over my head by a lot. But that's you know, playing closer to the line with the left-handed hitter up late in the game, one-run game. Didn't have far to go, but the great ups.
Matt Duffy's going to pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. He has become the regular third baseman for the Giants this year. Pitch taken a bit high for ball 1. And the Giants know for sure they're going to get Posey up again in the 9th inning. Nationals know they're going to get Harper up in the bottom of the 8th. He's going to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. Washington trying to sweep the series. They have held the Giants to 5 runs in the series. This one will get past Robinson into right field, a base hit for Duffy. As mentioned, Bryce Harper's going to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. Let's take a look at his night so far.
Well, listen, there are patterns and sequences that happen. That's the first pitch he sees tonight. First pitch fastball, which sets this up. Second at bat changeup. Now he's in a hitter's count. Not going down, not getting balls. He ends up drawing a walk. Third at bat, he gets that breaking ball, goes after it big time. Good swing, barrels that ball. But that first at bat, that first pitch, first swing, sets up his night. And it's not an accident, because he doesn't come back to second at bat chasing the bad pitch. He's looking for a specific one, doesn't get it, and he's getting on base.
Yeah, and he's probably salivating when a lefty comes in, because he knows he's probably going to get challenged, and he did. He hit the ball hard.
Matt Thornton on his way in. Tying run at first and 1 out in the top of the 8th inning here in Washington. Back in D.C., top of the 8th inning. Nationals 2, Giants 1. The Giants have a runner, Matt Duffy at first with 1 out. Left-hander Matt Thornton in to face Angel Pagan, who turns around to bat from the right side. This has been his strong side this year. And he lines a ball to left field. Diving catch by Taylor.
Something to be said for athleticism, and Michael Taylor definitely has that. Pagan hits that ball on a line of Taylor. And here's the thing, Dan, if that ball gets past him, Duffy scores, tying the game. Pagan possibly a triple on that ball if it does get past him. So you're putting another runner in scoring position, but you know what? You trust your athleticism, you make a play. You tell me Matt Thornton ain't a happy man.
No expression at all from Taylor after that great diving catch.
Oh,
to be expected.
Here's Joe Panik 0 for 3. And a strike.
As a first baseman, Craig, you ever have a left-handed pitcher that fooled you?
Picked me off?
That picked you off,
yeah.
Your own pitcher?
Yes.
And that was?
In the minor leagues.
Sharply hit, Desmond there, inning over. To the bottom of the 8th, Bryce Harper will lead it off for the Nationals. Weekend, John Kruk and the Davisons performing the music all weekend long for all of the games that we've had beginning on Friday. Bryce Harper with a base hit tonight. Brandon Crawford with a home run back in the 4th, tied the game at 1. Phil Cuzzy tossing out Ryan Vogelsong and Bruce Bochy. Wilson Ramos with a home run to give the Nationals the 2-1 lead that they now enjoy as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And here comes Harper. Matt Duffy stays in the game at 3rd base for the Giants. And the new pitcher for the Giants, veteran left-hander Javier Lopez. No fun for a left-handed batter. No fun for anybody, really. But lefties this year are just 5 for 44 against Lopez.
Bryce Harper, 4th at bat of the game, and well, let's not wear gloves this AB. Interesting.
First pitch swinging into left center. It's going to drop. And he's headed for second. And in there with a double.
Wow. This is what I love about Bryce Harper. American or right-handed hitters, very patient. Left-handed hitters, he's been very aggressive. And right there with Javier Lopez, you know about the slider. But Pagan right there, this is what I don't understand. Someone's got to explain it. He's not the only one. I mean, look at Bryce right there. As soon as he saw Pagan ease up, but why do you catch it and look at the runner? You know where you have to throw it in. There's so many outfielders that do that.
2-1 game too.
So Harper's now 5 for 8 with 5 walks in the series. 3 of the 5 hits for extra bases, and Ron Otis, the acting manager with the Bruce Bochy, having been ejected, is out to make a change. Tyler Moore had been announced as a pinch hitter. Hunter Strickland will be the new pitcher for the Giants. Because bacon you can't eat is bacon you don't need. And in part by Goodyear, chosen by experts for superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. You all right, Show?
You were into the bacon call right there. Crucky agreed with you.
2-1, the Nationals lead. Angel Pagan out in center field. Crucky, take us through this play.
Well, he got an inexperienced guy in left field, and Brandon Belt always played a handful of games, so you know it's your ball once it's hit here in the gap. But watch Pagan right here. He makes the play. He takes a couple steps. No urgency to get the ball in. Assuming Bryce Harper, oh, he's going to have a single, no big deal. Well, Bryce took advantage of it. But look at Pagan. Now it's too late. You have a guy who can run in Bryce Harper, and you've assumed it's going to be a single. Now you got a runner in scoring position to start the inning. And you know, the way the Giants are scoring runs, 2 runs might be way too much.
When your offense is going that way, that run becomes enormous.
Well, these are the kinds of things that have been bothering Bruce Bochy. The mistakes they have made, the mental mistakes they have made over the last couple of days.
Well, that's one of them.
There's Tyler Moore. Hunter Strickland, the pitcher for the Giants.
But it's happening a lot in baseball. Outfielders are assuming, well, he's not going to run. You know, just catch it and get it in as quick as you can. If he runs, he runs. But you got to try to stop him from running. That's the little things.
Strickland has spent part of the year in the big leagues, part of the year in the minors. Came up late last year, pitched very well in the regular season. and then gave up 6 home runs in the playoffs. 3 of them to the Nationals, 2 of those to Harper.
I tell you what, neither one of them were cheap ones either for Bryce.
I think the second one just landed.
Well, that first one here in that 57 inning game, that thing was a
57
line drive in the, I don't know if it went in the upper deck or second deck, but it could have hurt someone if it hit him.
I mean, you saw the fastball there from Strickland. It's coming in at 98. But he got a few of those turned around last October.
Yeah, it's straight, not located. Locates it, you're going to get guys out with that stuff.
Swing and a miss at a high slider, 1-2. To right field, pretty well hit. Blanco back to make the catch. Harper will tag and easily advance to third. Well, let's take you back to last October and show you the 2 home runs we were talking about. Truckee, you called this series. Wow.
Yeah, upper deck.
That was in game 1, 445 feet. This was in game 4. Into the water, but it was the Giants ultimately who had the last laugh. But was that week the beginning of what we're seeing this year from Bryce Harper?
I think it is, yeah, because really when you look at their offense, he was really the only one that did anything in that series against the Giants.
No, I mean that's the red lights going in October, and he clearly was confident.
And Ramos will drive in the run with a base hit.
There you go.
The little things are the big things, eh, Crooked?
Yep. A manufacturer run helped out by a lackadaisical play.
Mental error.
That's the thing. When you're a hitter and the infield's in, you know all you have to do is get something anywhere up in the strike zone and just let it go, because if you hit it hard, you have to hit it right at them in order for them to catch it, because there's no range. He got an elevated pitch. He hits it in the smart, staying in the big side of the field, not trying to pull off. 3-1 could be insurmountable.
Espinosa the batter. Because if Harper is held at first on the play, he doesn't advance a base on the fly ball.
No.
Right. And that's the thing. You can do a million things can happen, but the defense is back. Maybe that I don't know where they're situated, but that ball might get caught. You know, this watching him swing the bat right here. There's a little Adam LaRoche to the left-handed approach. Very tall and open, Crockett.
Yeah, but Adams' foot was more, back foot was more. I mean, look at it. He's like pointed toward third base instead of pointed toward the Giants' dugout.
Yeah, you can't hit the ball away.
Well, I wouldn't think so.
Espinosa with a couple of hits, one of them a bunt single. He's also walked, and he's stolen a base tonight.
And this was one of those things. I saw it on video, and then I remember in the minor leagues, in the hotel room, I put my feet down like that to try and see what it felt. You're trying to stride against your hip. You're locked out.
Closer Drew Storen up in the pen. Espinosa's not in a rush. drilled. Can he keep it fair? He cannot.
He has to. I mean, Hunter Strickland has to be showing the ball real early.
Well, it's a
because
slider.
it's a slider.
Right. Trying to go down and in and wrap it around him. Watch where he drops it right to the barrel of the bat. Oh. See, now the catcher's putting his glove where he wants the pitch to start, not finish.
When you throw 97, 98, you shouldn't be able to spin on a slider like that and almost keep it fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that ball should have went over the national dugout.
And a swing and a miss at a fastball for out number 2.
These guys are swinging. I always feel like when you see swings like this against the guy throwing this hard, you're looking at hitters who aren't afraid of the ball in.
No. But, you know, again, go back to the first play of this inning when Bryce Harper had the leg double. You know, you got, like you said, you got the fly ball to right field that got him to third. That would have been 1 out. He's still on first. First and second, maybe even first and third on Ramos' single. But now you got a strikeout. Now there should be 2 outs. And first and second or first and third, and a 2-1 game instead of 3-1.
99 and a swing and a miss, 0-1.
Ian Desmond swung where he thought that ball was going to end up, not what he saw. And that was a pitch.
He just threw that ball as hard as he could throw it.
But he threw it 4 or 5 inches off the plate.
Yeah,
and Ian Desmond swung like it was a fastball middle in.
He's swinging at the pitch he guesses on.
Been there.
And again.
Hunter Strickland's just trying to throw the ball as hard as he can throw it right here. He's gotten it in the air both times.
Oh, he'll be crazy if he throws something middle in.
Right. But he can't control whether he throws something middle in or not. That's the challenge for guys like this.
Strike 3 call. Desmond knew it. And the inning is over. An insurance run for the Nationals and a 2-run lead going to the 9th. presented by Head & Shoulders, is coming, featuring the best home run hitters in the world, competing in a new head-to-head bracket-style format with timed rounds. Catch all the action July the 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Ninth inning in Washington. Nationals lead 3-1. Tyler Moore remains in the game at first base. And Drew Storen, who has 24 saves in 26 opportunities on the season, is into the game for Washington. Picked up a save on Friday. 36 strikeouts to just 6 walks in 31 innings this year. He'll face 3, 4, and 5 in the Giants lineup: Belt, Posey, and Crawford. If Washington wins, they'll get to 10 games over 500 for the first time this year. They would be 46-36. If the Giants lose, it would mean an 0-6 road trip. Lost 3 in Miami, 3 here. They start a series at home against the Mets tomorrow night.
And here's where, if you're Drew Storen, how important is this first hitter? Knowing that the hottest guy on the team, the power guy on the Giants, Buster Posey and Brandon Crawford, are coming up behind him. You got to get Belt right here. Last thing you want is him on first base with that power coming up behind him.
That's what made that run so big. You know, you've got the 2 big bats in this lineup coming up this inning. You make a mistake, give up a solo home run. Okay. But that means no walks and making sure there's nobody on when you're up.
The 1-2. There would have been some fireworks if that had been strike three with some of the stuff that's gone earlier tonight.
Yeah. I'll go back to the fact umpires hate when catchers frame pitches that aren't close.
Maybe he doesn't know what the strike zone is either, Ramos.
Wouldn't bet against that for anything. What are you doing right here, Crockett, as a left-handed hitter facing, knowing with this guy's stuff? You're in 2-2 count, down 2.
The only thing he's thrown inside was a slider at his back foot for strike 2 that he swung at. And that pitch right there, I still think you have to look away because his fastball's running that way. It looked like Ramos wanted a fastball.
Slider again.
He shook him off to get to the slider again.
Oh, and split.
1 down.
Split or changeup, and a good one. This is what makes the split and change so lethal. Is out of the pitcher's hand, you get rotation, and you get fastball rotation, and then that. And when you throw 95, 96, you got to commit, Craig.
Like he just had all 5 fingers on the ball, and he threw as hard as he could.
That's exactly what it is. Circle change, but you get that red rotation.
Now Posey, 1 for 3.
See, the challenge here is this is an at-bat where you can kind of set him up and do some things that maybe you don't normally do for at-bats later in the year, for the postseason.
Because you have a 2-run cushion?
Yes, and I don't mean just give away, but you might throw a fastball middle in first pitch intentionally that you might never throw in a 1-run game, just so he stays looking for the things he wants to see, instead of looking for pitches that it's a great way to keep a guy looking for a pitch. See, he tried to throw 3 fastballs away right there and didn't come close with any of them.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. When, if Posey walks here or gets on base somehow, if you're Crawford, you can't look in. You look fastball away and react to the slider but you make him throw a strike.
This is the kind of thing you watch on video before the game. As a lefty, I don't have to worry about if he fires a ball in and hits his spot, it's an accident almost.
Ball 4. And A tying run will come to the plate.
I mean, you saw where Ramos was set up there.
Well,
he was set up down and away, and he can't get it there.
He did it 4 straight times. And that was a borderline pitch, and I think he wanted to strike. But when you miss that many times, you can't expect to get those misses called.
Here comes Brandon Crawford, who has already homered in this game.
And here's why this is a dangerous matchup. You got a guy that's obviously has a really good fastball. He doesn't command the strike zone well. So if as a hitter, I always feel like go up there, look for a ball you can crush until you get 2 strikes.
Start some of the slider away for ball 1. 5 balls in a row thrown by Storen.
And that was actually a good call right there. I think more catcher than pitcher. And that, hey, I need you to settle down and pitch. Don't try and throw the ball hard. Just make pitches.
Playing behind the runner at first as Crawford hits one weakly back to the mound. And Storen will take the sure out at first base. 2 down, Posey to second. So the Giants are down to their final out. The batter will be Gregor Blanco, who's 0 for 3 tonight. An 11-game hitting streak coming into the game.
That's a smart play by Drew Storen. You saw when he first fielded that ball, he had a little bit of an inkling to throw that to second base, try to get a double play. 2-run lead, though, you just get the out. And this is where the play in the bottom of the 8th inning could come back to haunt you if you're the Giants. You might have forced him to throw that ball to second and try to do more than he's capable.
Checks the runner, and the first pitch to Blanco is outside, ball 1. A loss for the Giants. They're just a game over 500. They did get some good news earlier as the Dodgers lost to the Mets. There's a strike. So if the Giants lose this game, they would remain 4 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West. And the Nationals need a win to remain 4.5 ahead of the Mets in the National League East.
They can't throw a fastball for a strike if you're Blanco. But if you're Blanco, what do? You got to look around the slider.
Back to the mound, underhanded on to first, and the Nationals sweep the series. They're 10 games over for the first time this season, and it'll be a long trip home for the Giants tomorrow morning. As they head to the ballpark to begin a series with the Mets, the Giants have lost 6 in a row. Our next baseball tonight telecast tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. on ESPN2. Then at 7 Eastern on ESPN, the Esurance MLB All-Star Selection Show. You'll find out the reserves and the pitchers for the All-Star game, followed by the Cardinals and the Cubs at 8. For John Kruk, Kurt Schilling, Buster Olney, I'm Dan Schulman saying thanks for watching so long from Washington, where the Nationals have beaten the Giants.